The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Standard Heating and Air is looking for an accounting administrator and customer service representatives to join their team. Learn more at standardheating.com/careers today.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah. No way. The week's not even through yet.
Yep, nothing to get excited about.
Running over things. Running over things. Running over things. Running over things.
Been driving around the Midwest these last months. I forgot about your roadkill situation. Oh my God. Your streets look like crime scenes. It looks like deer owe the mob money.
I grew up in the country. We never had a food truck. The closest thing we had to a food truck is when the El Camino hit a possum. Get yourself some white bread and you got a ditch witch right there.
Deer are idiots. What other animals runs into a car? Seriously. They're not even hiding. They're just standing right there. Your headlights hit their little eyes and you're like, don't do it. Don't you do it.
Can we start now?
Yes, it's showtime.
Well, what the hell is going on around here? Welcome to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. It's a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday morning. What was that intro all about? It's National Roadkill Day?
Yeah.
What kind of a cold-blooded setup is that? You know, in 1979, my family's big, fat, wonderful, beautiful chocolate lab named Babe, she became Roadkill. Is that how I celebrate Roadkill Day?
I think back that route.
Do I think back to the excruciating pain that Babe went through in her final moments? Is that what I do on National Roadkill Day?
Nah, I wasn't thinking that route, but yeah, sure.
Well, I'm not talking to you. You didn't come up with National Roadkill Day. I'm wondering.
Although Wapple did insist we celebrate it. I told him about that story and several similar ones, and he started laughing so hard. He's like, I got to change the show intro.
Do I think back to where Babe was helplessly splayed out on Highway 101 in Wayzata? Is that what I'm supposed to do on National? And we had one of our cats turned inside out on that same highway a couple years later. That's what they want me to relive all over again on National Roadkill Day.
Man, I didn't realize you had so many traumatizing roadkill type stories.
Yeah, I haven't even said anything about the baby ducks.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Can you not say anything about the baby ducks?
You don't want to know the story. The baby ducks, you don't want to know about that. Is that the goal on National Roadkill Day, for me to experience these traumas all over again?
Over and over and over again.
I have not. I mean, I've been seeing more and more and more lately. Let's see. I saw a raccoon. I saw a rabbit recently. Plenty of squirrels, deer.
So many raccoons.
A cat. That one was sad.
Saw a possum.
The possum had it coming.
I haven't seen that in a while. I witnessed a dog get hit by a vehicle, and that was a terrible experience.
Yeah, same here. That messed me up for a while.
It was on the freeway, and I see this dog. I'm like, oh, God, he's going to make it. Thank God. And someone swerved to miss him and ran right into him.
Oh, no.
Didn't you also see a little tiny dog fall out a window?
I did. I saw that as well. And I saw it coming even.
Are you talking about the window of a home?
Vehicle.
Motor vehicle.
Yeah, since we're talking roadkill stuff. Yeah, and it went tumbling, but it was okay. Ended up, the dog, at least, who knows, she brought him to the vet, and I don't have a follow-up. I didn't know who it was, but yeah, I saw it coming. This dog was all over the place, windows wide open, little tiny dog, hanging a little too far out. She wasn't paying any attention. She's texting. Dog goes out the window.
And that dog looked like you were watching the floor finals of the gymnastics event at the Summer Olympics. You know what I mean? Where they're just whoop, 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 whoop. You know what I'm talking about when they do those split? Didn't you guys watch the Olympics? What time is it?
No.
What time is it?
It is 5:44.
Saw a dog come out the window, he says. Well, that's just terrible.
Too.
What a terrible idea for a holiday.
Did you look up any facts on Roadkill Day, Wapple? Like,
no.
What's the purpose? Or just aware, don't hit animals?
No. Didn't look that up.
All right, well, I'll look that up real quick and see.
No background, he says.
What are we doing? No, you just took someone's word for it.
It highlights the impact of road traffic on wildlife and encourage us to consider the safety of animals when driving.
Well, I'm not going to drive through the woods anymore. Fine.
It also promotes the use of roadkill as a resource, which can help reduce food waste and environmental impact.
Well, there you go. It's a good thing.
It's also National Quesadilla Day. It's today the 25th. Well, that's wonderful.
No way.
Roadkill quesadilla. Here I come.
That's actually perfect because so my mom left for Florida yesterday. She's going on a little week trip down there. She's got some friends, and she was at the airport.
Girls trip?
having a meal. Yeah,
Nice.
essentially.
They cheat on spouses at girls' trips.
She's at the airport now. She's having a meal, I think, is where you left off.
Yep, and she had a quesadilla, and she texted me about it. And gosh, I love her. She spelled quesadilla CASADEIS.
She's not really in the ballpark.
You figured it out.
Oh, of course, because that's my mom for you. She always does that.
Well, that's a tough word to spell.
Yeah, she's so cute.
So that wasn't a voice-to-text mess up. That was her spelling that out.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
That's pretty good.
I know.
My mom embraces the emoji. Not so much misspellings, but she's known for, 30 to 40 per text.
Oh,
she gets her money's worth.
Is she the type that will replace a word with an emoji?
No, she'll put both.
Oh.
I think what happens, when you write a word, sometimes it'll say, would you like to add an emoji? Because we've got several options, and she said, you know what, I'll take them all.
Give me
one of them.
That one and that one and that one again.
All right, here's a text message from your friendly neighborhood garbage man on National Roadkill Day. He was the drunkest guy on our boat. I'm going to talk to our promotions department about making sure he doesn't return next year for our fall cruise. Your friendly neighborhood garbage man says, Highway 55 pretty much claimed every pet I had as a kid, and for some reason my parents kept getting more.
Keep them on a leash.
We lost our very first family dog when we were kids. We lost on Lindale Avenue. Thanks, Wapple. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I don't understand why we have to.
I knew there was trouble because I had just got back from a miserable overnight camp through the park, and my dad pulled over and said, hey, we got to talk. And he brought me to Embers, and we never went out to eat. And I thought, oh, my God, my family's dead. Mm-hmm. And then he told me it was even worse. Worse than the family, it was our brand-new dog, Rowdy. We had just got her, and I had a day with her before I went to camp. I couldn't wait to get home and see her, and she was just a big stain on
How young of a kid were you, Cubby?
So I'm going to say 4th or 5th grade.
Oh, that's hard.
Did you get a good meal at Embers, though?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
Remember they used to put melted cheese on the hash browns?
Oh yeah.
That chocolate milk, it was really good. That was a highlight. I mean, if I had to find a silver lining, I'm a glass half full type of guy.
Traumatic, isn't it, when your pet becomes as my dad used to say, when your pet becomes a sailor out on the highway. It's traumatic. What you went through, Josh, I'm sorry about what you went through.
Well, I'm sorry what you went through. I mean, I went through it once with a family pet. Sounds like you set a record of some sort in Hennepin County.
Couple 3. I'm in the top 3 or 4 spots there in the history of Hennepin County as far as pets turned absolutely inside out by high-speed motor vehicles. Not as traumatic as my pal growing up, Curtis. Came home from school, had a bottle of soda in his hand, and as he's walking up the driveway to enter his folks' place, he's going to throw that empty bottle of soda into the trash can, and when you open up the trash can, his dog was in there.
Oh, no.
Dude.
The dog died while he was at school, and his dad just put the dog in the trash can.
God. Didn't even bury it or anything.
Didn't even put it in a bag.
He didn't even call Wapple's dad.
Yeah, we would have taken care of
I would
that.
have dug that 6-foot hole for that dog.
He just picked the dead dog up by the scruff and put him in the trash. And Curtis, he opened up, and the dog, his eyes are rolled back and the tongue is hanging. And he came in the house. He said, Dad, what the hell? What happened to Schmoopy?
can't believe he didn't bag him up or
No.
put some newspaper over him or something.
No, if you ever met
Like a
Curtis,
bag over the head.
if you would have met Curtis's dad before he checked out, he wasn't a bag him up kind of a guy.
Oh yeah, my friend's dad was. There's some similar stories. I don't even think I can tell, but he loved his animals literally to death. He would put them down himself right in the center of the city, and some of those stories were pretty brutal. But it was out of love.
Yeah, I know a couple of those.
I've told you a couple of those stories.
I know a couple of those put them down on your own type characters, and they've got their own stories. Curtis, if you're awake, text me the name of that dog that you found in the trash can in 1985.
Steelers fan Jesus said he's a little late on this text. He was driving, and then during the opening song, Running Over Thangs, he hit a raccoon. Nice, Wapple. Is this what you wanted?
Yeah. Well, at least maybe the raccoons. Got to dwindle that population.
You ever been chased by one?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Taking out the garbage?
Yep. And I even had this giant raccoon when me and my buddies lived in Columbia Heights, of all places. This raccoon was wrapped around the tree, and I was tossing the garbage, and I heard this noise. I look over to my left, and there's a raccoon, and its like arms are all the way around the tree, and its fat's hanging out. I'm like, whoa, dude.
Its fats are hanging out?
It's fat. Its fat's like hanging out the side of the trunk. You could see it.
That's a big raccoon.
Yeah. It was massive.
Girthy.
Hey, Cheesehead Jesus appreciates knowing that it's National Quesadilla Day. He said he's hoping to go home and make some case ideas.
That's what you got to do. Oh, God, here we go then. Wednesday, like I said, and I did note that it's a beautiful morning. Well, it was until I sat down here when I got to work. It was beautiful until I stopped by the internet. I watched the internet, Josh. What are we going to do about this situation?
I don't know. It's good and it's bad.
I watched a supposedly popular online video where a dude sets his own penis on fire.
Yep.
It hurt so bad he began speaking a foreign language.
I know he's Korean.
Oh.
Yeah, he already spoke what to us would be a foreign language. To him would be a native one. That was a man whose penis was on fire.
Yeah,
and it was quite the fire, by the way.
This is up on 93x.com.
It sounds like someone from Street Fighter or something like that before they kick your ass.
It does.
You guys already knew about this?
Yeah, it was going to be a
Josh sent
stupid
it to
news
me.
story.
Oh, what?
For tomorrow.
This is the second time this week where I thought for sure I had the scoop, and you guys already know. Oh, yeah.
Well, the video came out last week.
Oh, I don't know these things.
That's all right. You're not an internet guy. Yeah.
No. One of these days, I want to be the only guy who knew about it.
Maybe it was a couple weeks ago, but yeah, the video's been out there for a little bit.
Oh, well, then F me running sideways. It's still fun. A dude sets his own penis on fire. Did he ever get the fire out? When I stopped watching the video, he was still running in circles and attempting to put the fire out.
I had looked for follow-up stories, and I didn't see anything. I only saw it the one place, this guy on Instagram. I don't know if anybody else saw a follow-up, but yeah, it ends right there.
Did he die?
I don't think so. It looks legit. Sometimes those you think, it's going to be completely fake, but it looked like it was on fire.
Oh, it looked legit to me.
Yeah, it sure did.
Well, that's not right. Didn't his folks warn him that penis fires can be dangerous?
It's one of the first lessons my grandpa taught me as a young man growing up.
Well, he was a wise man.
Mm-hmm. Possibly fatal, even?
I'd imagine so. There's a lot of those videos online, so he's got plenty of... there's plenty of evidence out there that it's a bad idea. You guys, boy, this has to be like 9 years ago now. Remember the guy he was outside, he got down into like some bikini briefs, and he set his penis on fire?
No.
Yeah, that one was pretty famous for a while.
I missed that one. I don't know what we have to do to straighten these people out, Josh.
Season 3 of The Boys, the Hero-gasm episode, which I think was maybe when I decided this show's not for me anymore. I made it 3 seasons. There's a penis on fire, and they legitimately set a stuntman's penis on fire. Mm-hmm. Eric Kripke, the guy who started the show, said, yeah, that was real. They loaded it up with the penis or the fire lotion, and they lit that thing on fire.
Guys, there's ways around this to not set it on fire. No.
Stunt guy shows up for work. All right, boys, what you got for me today? Am I going to fall onto a big mat or something, or get in a car crash? No, we're going to light your wiener on fire.
Can you imagine, how does that? Do you fire your agent? Speaking of fire,
you totally do.
Well, that's not right, what I saw. Oh, and that wasn't the only video that I saw. Just sitting here, trying to warm myself up to the idea of another miserable live broadcast with you people other than Josh. What else did I see? Okay, let's see if I can get you on this one. There was a video of people vomiting and writhing in misery somewhere in the jungle because they got high on frog venom.
Yeah.
God, 0 for 2. 0 for 2.
Well, you don't search out sites very often.
I know. This is
our day.
I just want to get lucky. These
are relatively new. That's good, because sometimes you'd be like, hey, did you guys see this video? We're like, yeah, it came out like 6 years ago.
Have you guys checked out Mike and Molly lately?
I like Mike and Molly. That's a fun program, fun television program. All right.
I've never watched that show. I like, why can't it? Megan Mullally? Is that the star of that one?
I thought it was...
No, I'm sorry. I'm getting her confused.
The sister of that hot lady.
Yeah, or cousin or whatever it is.
Cousin, sister, McCarthy.
Yes.
Melissa.
Yeah, Melissa McCarthy.
Very, very funny.
Yes, absolutely.
And the dude is very fun. The best character on that show, not that we need to have another, I don't need to force you people to have another 10-minute conversation about a show that was popular 17 years ago, but the best character on that show is he's like a stepdad character. He's from Chicago, and he kind of talks like this. That guy? He's a friggin' riot. I don't know who he is, but and that's all the information I can give you.
Is his name Vince in the show?
Yeah, Vince.
Louis Mustalo.
That's what I wanted to name my son, Vincent. Call him Vince or Vin or Vinny. It didn't work out.
Well, I've got one of my
wife said no.
One of my oldest pals, he's got a son named Vinny. Anyway,
and the joke's on her because he's totally a Vinny. And she agrees at this point that maybe Vinny would have been a good name for him.
He does act and look like a Vinny.
He's a Vinny.
Yep.
Now, you see what you did now, Wapple. It's not completely your fault. You're just trying to find something for the program. Wapple decided to make an intro highlighting how today is National Roadkill Day. And all you've done is sadden and traumatize people all over again.
Yep.
Thinking back to their house pets.
The state of Minnesota is just crying right now in their cars.
Making folks think about their house pets who were murdered on the highway. What you've started here is now people are texting in the most gruesome roadkill episodes that they've ever witnessed in their lives. Park and Wreck Jesus has a terrible story here about a dog who broke its chain, broke free. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it's dragging its chain behind it because the chain broke off of the thing that you stick into the... So the dog breaks the thing, and he runs over to meet the kids at the bus stop. Hey, neighborhood kids, I'm no longer restrained to my yard. What are you doing? Is this the bus stop? This is what you guys do in the morning? Yay! That's how the dog approached that day. And then the end of the chain got wrapped up in the rear tires of the bus, and Park and Wreck Jesus says he got reeled in like a walleye.
By the way, I realized I laughed at that, but I was laughing at his description. I thought that was very clever on his part, but that's disturbing. How about this from Bucknuts Jesus, who's seen 3 roadkill black bears in the last 2 weeks? I've never seen bear roadkill.
Oh, no. Me either.
And I hear
that'll mess your car up.
I would think so.
I hear if you hit a moose, you could die, too. Those things are sturdy, I guess.
Well,
it's because the family comes after you afterwards.
Death by moose.
Huge, though. Yeah, they're ginormous.
They hold a grudge.
They're large animals?
Yep.
Oh, massive.
Is that right?
Yeah, and they run all wonky. They look like they don't know how to run when they run.
Yeah, well,
So
they got that huge-ass body and that small legs.
Yeah, they look really funny.
This is like watching Animal Planet. This is...
Huge-ass body and small legs. It's like a powerlifting competition.
Oh. All right. Here's our next big move, the Half-Assed Morning Show, of course. Heading back across the border, October 17th through the 19th. Hanging out at St. Croix Casino in Turtle Lake. Woo! Wisconsin. It's our third annual Brotherhood Border Bash. Hey, you know it's sponsored by Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies. Yeah, and we got a live broadcast, and there's a live concert by Jesse James Dupree, and the drinking and the carrying on. Josh, when I was reading about all the details again this morning on our Border Bash, I had a question for you. Are you going to bring your own bedding with you again for this year?
I've never brought my own bedding. I brought a pillow.
Oh, was it just pillow?
I was told beforehand, hey, you know, because I don't travel.
You don't travel.
Somebody said you need to bring your own pillow. Because prior to that, I don't know the last time I was in a hotel. So yes, I brought my own pillow, and everybody gave me all levels of hell about it. I was like, I was told to do this. I didn't know.
They provide them.
I understand that, but they're like, oh, no. If you want to sleep, you better bring your own pillow.
Yeah, I know people that bring their own bed sheets and stuff.
Yes, okay. I got confused. Yes,
I'll sleep on anything. But yeah, the pillow didn't bother me, but I was convinced I needed to bring my own pillow.
Who told you to bring your own pillow?
Like 3 sales chicks here. You got to bring your own pillow.
Really?
So I did the first year. And everybody gave me crap.
Okay, yeah, I have
Maybe
to
it was
admit,
just a
Josh,
joke on you.
I'm not the kind of guy that's going to jump in on a cubby bashing party, but it was kind of silly seeing you stand in the lobby with a big fat pillow under your arm.
Oh, I felt stupid, but everyone's like, no, that's just what, if you travel, you know, that's what you do.
Because you kind of looked like at any moment you might lie down on the lobby floor and catch a nap.
It's 2 times I've been told what to do on a vacation, and it came back to bite me. One time, before we went to Jamaica, one of the sales ladies is like, hey, you got to get a base. You're going to burn, so go at least spray tan. So I did a spray tan. I felt ridiculous. Everyone made fun of me for getting a spray tan. I'm like, I'm just following orders. I don't know.
That's actually a good idea. Don't let people make fun of you for that.
Guy gets all his life advice from our sales department.
This is where I spend a lot of my time.
I don't remember the spray tan, and you probably look gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Oh, I felt a little silly. I mean, this was spray tans in, the year 2000. Maybe not quite as good as they are today.
Oh, they haven't quite figured it out yet.
Very orangey and drippy.
Oompa Loompa like.
You bringing your own pillow, I got confused.
That was just year 1. Year 2, I learned my lesson.
It wasn't bedding, but like Ashley said, I've known a couple people over the years who bring, sheets and blankets and the whole works. Everything that makes up a bed, they bring that with them when they stay in a hotel, and what a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Thank you for the support from the brother and sisterhood, by the way, saying they bring their own pillows every time. So I know it's out there. Okay. So I had a couple friends say, oh, yeah, you got it. Because I even asked, like, is that something people do? Well, I don't know. I think I've stayed outside of the times you and I have stayed in motels or hotels or wherever we stayed, I think maybe 4 or 5 times in my life I've stayed at a hotel. So I had no real experience.
He was inexperienced, everybody. Yeah, I know folks that'll bring the whole schmear, and you just look like a jackass walking into the hotel with them. They just put it in a garbage bag hanging over their shoulder. You look like there's something wrong with you, like you're there to hurt people. What are you doing? I'm pretty easy to please. I can,
same with me. I listened to them the first year, and the second year I was totally fine. They know what they're doing over
People
there.
tell you, the hotels, the beds are so disgusting. I don't care.
Yeah, I've heard that before, where they're like, hey, you got to take off that comforter or whatever, and I've never done that.
Doesn't bother me.
No, I'm fine with that. I like it. I like the stank on it. It just kind of... It really immerses you into where you are, I think.
I love hotel beds. I think I sleep better in hotel beds than I do in my bed at home.
Well, that's a little odd. Mm-hmm. But, everybody's different, Dana.
Now, wait a minute.
Yes.
You do not sleep in hotel beds more than you do at home. Or are you having an illicit affair?
Wait, no, I sleep better in hotel beds than I sleep at home.
I heard something different.
Well, let me ask you.
And I apologize.
What the hell's going on at your house? You can't get a good night's sleep.
I've
there.
just been a horrible sleeper my entire life.
Well, yeah, me too.
But get a new bed.
But something about hotel beds, I don't know, they're just comfy and different. And it
I
feels
get
nice.
what you mean, yeah.
Is this a bad sign? We recently, my wife and I, we've had the same mattress for about 20 years. Actually, my mattress, it predates her even. Had the same one. And so we've been talking about getting a new one. And it's like, okay, we can finance this for 10 years. Some of those are absolutely crazy. I don't know. What's the difference between like a $300 mattress and a $3,000? Am I going
to me, nothing.
Yeah, see, I when we test them out, they're like, okay, this one's too soft, this one's just fine. I basically just put some plywood down and maybe one of those clingy sheets, and I'm pretty good.
Josh, if I had never been in a relationship, and if I never had gotten an endorsement here at the radio station, I'd still be sleeping on the same mattress I slept on when I was 14.
Yeah.
Totally not, it's not a concern of mine.
It just weighs 800 pounds more now.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to think, though, and I've never, do you flip it or anything like they tell you to do? Yeah, I've never done that.
No, it's silly. You just lay down. Just lay down and eventually you'll fall asleep. I don't care where you are.
Yeah, I've probably had that thing, I bet about 25 years, this particular mattress.
That's how you do it.
The box spring is destroyed.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, it's so bad. By the way,
you
March Madness Jesus brings up a good point. Is there something or maybe someone in your bed, Dana, that makes you not want to sleep there?
No, I'm like Nick. We sleep in separate beds. It's amazing. It's the best decision any couple could ever make.
Who asked you to drag my personal life into this conversation?
You brought it up on the program?
I like how Josh's bed's almost as old as Ashley.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It ain't no thing, Cubby.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. Yeah, it's older than my stepkids.
Josh, just keep bringing your own pillow wherever you want to bring it and sleeping on your ancient mattress. That's your business.
Tile Jesus said the difference between a $300 and $3,000 mattress is about $2,700. Thank you. Yep. Thank you very much.
It's a good math right there.
Yeah, we've covered everything now, I think. We've covered everything we could possibly. We got to get going again. So what day is it today? You said, I think
Wednesday.
I was the one who said Wednesday. Oh, so that means Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder will be with us here in about an hour and a half. There's all kinds of great baseball news we can talk about. The local ball club's doing well.
But for what town?
Yeah.
Are you talking about like Minnesota?
Doing well.
The Saints?
You guys are a great crowd, and we appreciate you joining us. I feel like I'm forgetting something, Josh. What am I forgetting?
Well, I think everything's been
hit
covered.
everything.
Excellent. All right. We'll be back here in a few minutes. Stupid news will be coming up next on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Did you know that Standard Heating opened its doors over 90 years ago? That's right. Tony Ferreira opened the doors in 1930, now ran by his granddaughter Claire Ferreira. Call Standard Heating and Air Conditioning today and experience the customer service and care that holds true today.
Are you looking to improve your work-life balance with excellent benefits like 401k match and even tuition reimbursement? Standard Heating and Air is looking for an accounting administrator and customer service representatives to join their team. Learn more at standardheating.com/careers today.
The Bigger Pockets portfolio of podcasts are worthy of your investment.
What is the path of least resistance with highest ROI?
New episodes available every day.
People oftentimes are paying very close attention to what the Fed does to get signals on what's going to happen with mortgage rates, and it's completely wrong way thinking.
Whether it's real estate, on the market, rookie, or money.
And you could make just 6% on a deal. You can retire next month.
The Bigger Pockets podcasts are on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Found out earlier that today is National Roadkill Day. Kind of a dark vibe when you consider your pets that have become roadkill. I mean, it's a lot of laughs when a raccoon or a squirrel. I'm like anybody else. I'm having a good time with that. But when your pets get, that's where my mind went when I heard National Roadkill Day. Like I said earlier, Cubby, when my chocolate lab, Babe, when she got hit and killed on a highway in 1979, I bet she was in a lot of pain. She was probably confused, scared.
It's terribly sad.
Thanks, National Roadkill Day, for bringing that memory back. Here are some text messages from our listening audience on National Roadkill Day. The listener says, my mom and dad's dog got hit and killed on the road in front of their house. As my dad was loading the dog up into his vehicle, he noticed that the dog's tail was missing.
Oh, jeepers.
Dad looked up, and he spotted a bald eagle flying away with the dog's tail in its talons.
What?
The dog was a true American hero and made a great sacrifice. Yes, he did.
That's one way to look at it, yeah. That's probably the best way to look at it.
Who is
I was
this?
in a vehicle that the guy was horsing around, and he hit a cat.
Wow.
He pretended to swerve toward the cat and then forgot to unpretend. Ran right over that thing. Actually, feet away from where my dog I was telling you earlier got hit and killed. And boy, did he get the riot act from a couple of sisters that lived in the neighborhood. These twin sisters who, by the way, were hot and witches. They told us they were witches. They laid
Well, then they were
into this
probably
guy.
looking, well, if they were witches, they were probably looking for a dead cat.
Well, they said they like cats, alive cats.
Oh.
Yeah. And they were pissed. Both of us were bawling. What? Who said that?
You and your pal were both crying over the situation?
That was terrible. I was so mad at him. You bastard. What are you doing?
Yeah, Sabrina, the teenage witch, has a live cat.
Yes, she does.
I'm going to look into that. I'm going to Wikipedia that. Deerswood Jesus. I think maybe he just means Deerwood Jesus because he tells a story here about Crosby, Minnesota. He hit a deer outside of Crosby. He did. As the sumbitch was laid out on the side of the road, the Deerwood Jesus, he ran to the store, got some get-well balloons, and tied them to the deer's leg. And he made the paper.
I saw the photo.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I did too.
You guys don't miss anything.
Yeah, was it?
No.
That's funny.
Yeah, here it is.
Tied some get-well balloons to the deer's leg.
Also put some flowers underneath it.
One of our listeners, this is Full Turbo Jesus. He said he likes doing the roadkill double tap. It's where you run over an animal that's already dead.
Oh, I hate that.
Just to make sure.
I try and avoid that.
And finally, on National Roadkill Day, and then maybe we'll leave this alone, because it's just too dark and sad. I told you guys what happened to Babe. One more text here. A listener says, why did the raccoon cross the road?
Why?
So I could dump scalding hot coffee on my lap. That's great. All right. It's a tough time of year for some folks. Allergies. I wouldn't know too much about it. I don't have those problems as far as I know, but I hear people talking about allergies this and allergies that this time of year.
In my 20s, I got them really, really bad, and then it went away. I was so bad I was medicated for it. It was kind of a weird deal.
I'm
glad you never got them. They can be pretty terrible.
Yeah, they can. Absolutely awful.
My brother has them real bad. It's a lot of laughs. People who have allergies, they say this time of year, well, and others, but this time of year they get all stuffed up. They get a runny nose. I'm sure many of you can relate. Or maybe that runny nose isn't just your allergy issues. Maybe your brain is leaking.
I hate when that happens.
Say what now?
Says here a 20-year-old kid from a place called Syria. He had a nose that was constantly running for him for 6 effing years. Damn. He must have damn near owned Kleenex brand after all that time.
I'll bet that sucked. I can't imagine. So every once in a while, you've got an issue like that, and you got to cram toilet paper up your nose. So you know a thing or two about that. I hope it's not brain fluid.
No, that's just your typical. This guy had a runny nose. Kid, he's 20. Runny nose for 6 years. When he finally couldn't take her anymore, he went to see a doctor. And the doctor told him that his nose was running doctor told him that his runny nose was a bigger damn deal than just allergies. The doctor told the kid that his damn brains were bulging through a crack in his skull, and it was God-forsaken brain juice, brain fluid that was coming out of his nose holes. Can you believe that one, Cubby?
There was an older local guy. They did a news story on him. He would wake up and his pillow would be a little wet. He was a side sleeper, and they figured out that his brain fluid was leaking out one of his ears.
Oh.
So anytime I had an ear that was a little damp or something, I thought, oh, God, here we go. That's brain fluid.
This is it.
Even I get out of the shower, I just assume it's brain fluid.
Has to be it.
This is the brain leak that's finally going to kill me. Yeah, dude's nose is running like a kindergartner on a bus stop for 6 years. And it wasn't because he had a cold or allergies. Crack in his brain, brain fluid pouring out, coming out his... The kid told his doctor that he'd been in a car wreck 6 years ago, and that's when the nose running began. In that car crash, he took a lick to the noggin, but refused medical treatment at the time. So he tells the doctor, that was around the time my runny schnoz problem started. Oh, he also tells the doctor, I also started to have a lot of headaches and seizures. And I know what you're thinking. The kid didn't put 2 and 2 together and figure out that his head injury from 6 years ago must have had something to do with the headaches and the runny nose and the seizures? I guess not. Or, of course, he may have just chose to deny that there was something bigger going on than basic allergies.
I mean, he did have a head injury. Maybe, that could have had something to do with it. Knocked a screw loose or two that might have made him make that connection.
And the kid's been wiping brain fluid onto the sleeves of his jackets for 6 years. The problem is called traumatic encephalopathy. I thought I had this. I'll get it. I promise I will. Traumatic encephalopathy. Encephalopathy. It can happen sometimes when you take a hard impact to your melon. Now, it sounds to me like this 20-year-old kid again refused treatment to fix his leaking brains.
I think I'd seek treatment for that.
But a couple months later, he came back and said, okay, go ahead. Fix this. Stubborn kid. I don't know. I don't know how they operate in Syria. Maybe they're all tough guys over there. Had a fracture in his skull that doctors sealed up with what they call here medical-grade cement and glue. If they have any extra left over after that operation, it might be fun to use that stuff for common household tasks as well.
Yeah, I bet it could adhere a couple things together pretty good.
What'd you fix that vase with? Oh, medical-grade cement. I'll be damned, it says here, after the operation, the kid stopped having headaches, seizures, and that wet brain drizzle stopped pouring out of his nose and onto his face.
Can you imagine just like, there goes my ability to speak that condition. You leak a little more, there goes a spelling word or two. I wonder how much brains you leak out.
Oh. Man. 6 years of that. It's a wonder he wasn't on E. After all that. All right. Josh, what do we have to do to get the naked bicycle people off our asses? What do they want from us?
I think maybe you either instantly give them the attention they desire so we can move on, or you completely ignore them. I think I'd just say, hey, way to go, really cool, and then we move on to the next thing.
All right.
That'd be my strategy.
And that's good strategy. Give them what they want, and maybe they'll go away and they won't come back.
Or maybe I'd ask, do you got any hotter friends that are going to go on this trip?
Thankfully, these latest attention-starved naked people who try to confuse us with statements about body positivity and whatnot, thankfully, they're off riding around stupid England, far, far away from here. These here, there's two of them. It's a guy and a gal. and they're taking a naked 6-day tandem bicycle trip across England. Both of them ass naked.
Oof, that's sweaty.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Please don't stand up.
I always picture it cold there.
It is cold. It's automatic, isn't it, Wapple, to point out the obvious discomforts they're both experiencing.
Oh, yeah.
With a bicycle seat directly grinding over and over against their exposed, squishy parts, beeholes included. They're going to be as red as a damn tomato when this is... Get out the hemorrhoid repellent.
Talamine.
You better have a barrel of hemorrhoid repellent. Yes... we got lucky on this one. The bicycle, I told you, it's a guy and a gal. They're riding a tandem bicycle, and they're in the nudes. We got real lucky on this one, Josh. The bicycle guy is named Neil Cox.
That's pretty good. That adds to it.
He's 36 years old, and he still hasn't gotten over the fact that he has a penis. His gal friend goes by the name of Jay or something. She's 25. It doesn't matter. They like to spend time in the nudes. They are what they call nowadays naturists. They've been bothering people all over England, going into bars and restaurants butt-ass naked, whatever it takes to be noticed. They say the response so far has been, quote, overwhelmingly positive. No, it hasn't.
Everyone's just cheering, yeah, woo!
He is so ignored when they go talk to people. Nobody's paying any attention to that guy. She is pretty attractive.
Oh. Of course, they're telling their silly story on Facebook. Some folks have let them have it, though.
It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, it is. One person said, "You may love seeing each other naked. Doesn't mean we want to. Have more respect for other people." And that's exactly the thoughts that enter my mind. Neil Cox, he said, "I feel happier and less stressed when I'm naked." And that's great, but that isn't reason enough for people to have to watch your hairy nuts and anus smashing into an innocent bicycle seat in broad daylight. That's not why that bicycle seat was created on the assembly line. You know what I mean?
What an unlucky bicycle seat.
Yeah.
You know, look, you're looking at all your buddies like, all right, I wonder what kind of adventures we're going to have, pals. Here we go, out to the world.
Maybe the Olympics, maybe the Tour de France.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of bike shorts. Definitely no naked taints, not at all. Did you know Neil Cox's middle name is Before? Strange.
Oh, man.
And Dana, that's an order.
Yes, sir.
What an unlucky bicycle seat. I like the way you put that. Takes me back to that story where, when my brother and my dad and I lived together, when my brother and I were 18 years old. As you can imagine, two 18-year-old guys, clueless animals, is how I would describe my brother and I. Living with their over-the-road truck driver, beer-drinking, cigarette-smoking, skirt-chasing dad. That house was something to see at times. I mean, it was a tavern at best. And our bathroom, the one bathroom we had in that house, could get a little funky at times, right? Admittedly, we were animals. So one day I'm hanging out with some buddies, and these buddies of mine are getting high, and they're saying stupid stoner things back and forth to each other, right? And I was kind of in the other room. I wasn't intentionally eavesdropping, but I overheard them talking. And one of them said, "Dude, it would totally suck to be a toilet seat."
Oh, my gosh.
Right? And,
Yeah.
and the other guy says, "Oh, no way, dude. If like you and me, if we were a toilet seat, dude, no way. That would totally suck. Gross." And then one of them says, No, it would really suck to be the Bourne's toilet seat." And I had to agree with them. That the toilet the three of us shared was horrible. Horrible.
I hate it when you're right.
My dad and my brother needed to learn to sit a little more forward on the toilet seat. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah.
Some people sit too far back.
They sit too far.
And there's evidence of it.
You got to scoot a little forward on it.
Yeah.
How do you not know?
How do you not know?
You got to know. Maybe it's just one of those where you're like, not my problem. The next guy will take care of that.
Gross.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw that. And I had to have a conversation with the child that did it. Like, hey, you got to scoot forward or take care of that if you have to sit that far back.
I've never seen that. Thank God.
You never have?
What? Nope.
It's a hell of a life-changing moment. Now, I don't know about you, Josh. Maybe I took too many licks to the head playing hockey or something, but it took me longer than it should have to figure out, to CSI what the hell was going on. Why is there a little bit of that on the back? How does that? Oh, they're sitting too far.
It took me a second, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Terrible, Ashley. I hope it never happens to you.
I hope so, too.
I kind of hope it does.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd like you to know what it's like. Just so you can be part of the club. Be part of the... And you understand what's happening there, correct?
Yes, I do.
All right.
There's some transfer.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying.
Ick.
Just because we're nice people, let's give this gal the attention. Speaking of attention-starved people, let's give this gal the attention she needs. Or she's going to bust a spring. We tried to get to this yesterday, and we ran smooth out of time. She is apparently the, quote, most sexually active woman on our planet. That's the niche that she's going for.
Good for you.
And she's dumped an update on social media, whether we want it or not. And the update is how things are going in her life. You see, she has supposedly challenged herself to have sex with 600 people this year.
Challenged herself.
Sometimes
I bet you can't do it.
Sometimes I think, I don't really set goals. Maybe tiny ones, but not really any, tiny ones like, I'd like to get the laundry done by the end of the week, but not really a long-term goal. So I can't imagine setting a goal, especially one as lofty as this, and it's pretty gross as this as well. That's a lot of people.
That's too many people. That's ridiculous.
That's more than a lifetime for most folks.
It's incredible that she hasn't gotten knocked up or gotten an STD yet.
600 people. Maybe she has, Ashley. She's not going to tell that part of the story in her Facebook update or whatever this is that I'm reading.
Where's your cutoff, Nick?
What's the question?
Where's your cutoff as far as she tells you where she is in her goal? At what point do you say, okay, I'm not jumping in this year?
Never.
No, never? So
Have you seen
559? Oh, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, this girl is scorching hot.
Boy, I don't know.
I don't care if I'm 1 or 601. I'll add into the mix.
The top might be pretty, but maybe not the downstairs.
Ashley, you know me pretty well at this point, don't you?
Yes.
You think I haven't seen worse? She's challenged herself to have sex with 600 people this year, and she's making it our problem, too. But like I said, and like Josh said about the naked bicycle people, let's just give her what she needs, and maybe she'll go away. Again, don't get me wrong, she's scorching hot. But, this is just stupid. I think we talked about her before. Annie Knight is the name she goes by. She had a goal in the year 2023 to trade gear with 365 people, okay? And now in 2024, she's decided to level up and allow 600 people to hump her. Now listen to how she comes off here.
Hump her.
Listen to how she comes off. You're not going to like it. She said, last year, everyone started talking about me because I mentioned how many people I'd slept with, and it went viral, and everyone was talking about it. Yeah, that's exactly how it played out. People just couldn't stop talking about you. You're right. Everybody was. She does stuff on the internet. What is it called again? OnlyFans. She does this and that. She says she's 400 400 different sets of genitals have smashed up against hers so far this year. She's got 200 to go. She's been using dating apps and whatnot. She's at 400, Josh.
That's a lot.
Now, in order to hit 600, she started taking applications from her online followers, okay? So regular jabronis like me and you can now apply to plug her ears with her big toes.
You know, it'd just be... I'd like to be in the earlier, not just for the obvious reasons, but because she's going to get so bored at one point where I just realize that she's not into this at all. I'm just a notch on her belt.
And that would deter you from signing up?
Yeah, if I'm with someone that is completely not into it whatsoever, yeah, I wouldn't be too interested.
Well, Josh, I mean, just think of it this way. The past women of your life, they don't remember you either.
Well, that's different. Like during, maybe there was some
I'm kidding,
indication.
Of course. I was going for a joke about maybe your lack of skills in the bedroom.
Oh, I understand where the joke was going, but there's a little pretending maybe. I'm fine with that at least.
What if she was sick for a week and then she has to stack up like 4 or 5 guys on one day, and then you're that 5th guy too?
Oh, dude, you want to talk about stacking up guys in one day? You ain't heard nothing yet, Wapple.
Uh-huh.
You ain't heard nothing yet. Okay, if you want to sign up and be one of her 600, you got to be okay with being filmed. You have the option to have your face blurred. STDs, Annie says bring them. She's immune to all of them. No, I'm kidding. She didn't say that. She's brilliant, though. She says, some days I might sleep with 5 people. And the next few days I might not sleep with anyone. I get tired, she says.
It's good to take a day off every now and again.
The highest number of people that have penetrated her in a day is...
I saw it.
Go ahead, Wapple.
9.
16!
Oh! Oh! Is it just like a revolving door in her bedroom? Just like, take a number, boys.
Must be.
16.
She must multitask, don't you think? 16 in one day?
Well, she's got to be on the app finding the next one while you're doing her.
While you're doing her. I like that.
What are we doing on an app? What?
She's already searching for the next
guy while you're doing it.
Yeah. Again, I wouldn't expect that she's going to call you daddy or holler out loud while you're becoming one of her 600. She's going to brace herself until you're done, and it's not going to be romantic.
The only thing she'd say is, next.
What is this? Oh, no. I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but it's true. She says that sometimes people shout gross things at her in the street. And she says she is not a sex doll.
Girl, come on. I'm very sex positive. We're a sex positive program, but come on.
Not all of us are sex positive. Some are sex shamed.
I don't even know if I could do a sex doll 16 times in one day.
Wapple, she is not a sex doll. All right. She says another favorite comment people say to me in the street is, your mom and dad must be proud, which is one I always laugh at because they are. No, they're not.
No, they're not.
Nope. They tell you that because they are beyond devastated and terrified of what you'll do if they say different.
Yeah, your dad's hating himself.
That's where we stand on Annie Humps. What the hell's her last name again? Annie Knight. Going for 600 sex partners in the year plus 24. She's up to 400, and you can sign up for your turn. Every once in a while, like I've stated before, when I edit one of these stories, I do a quick scan of the comments to see if anybody has anything cute to say. 99 times out of 100, it's some absolute moron who turns any story you can come up with into a political argument, but every once in a while.
I like to play the game of guess how many before it becomes political. Sometimes I'm shocked. Sometimes, it's way sooner than I would have thought. Like if it's a lovely story about some kids raising money for cancer research by selling lemonade.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly, even that can turn into some sort of political argument.
It's fascinating. Even the story about this gal who just wants to spread her legs 200 more times to get into the record books or whatever she's go. Even a story like this, strictly about sex and attention and only. There were people in there saying, well, the liberals and the Republicans are the ones. And what? Well, how did
What are you talking about?
But here we go. I found one comment. Okay, the gal with the trying to find 600 sex partners before the end of the year. Here's the one comment that I did enjoy. Do Hummers count?
By the way, for this game, the second comment got political.
Oh, I bet.
Just comment number 2. That's
For
all it
this
took.
story?
Yeah, that story.
Awesome.
I like how there's 97 days left in the year, so 200. She's gonna have to bang 2 dudes a day.
Oh, she's going for it. She'll get there.
2 dudes a day.
Well, I mean, she had 16 and 1, so I mean, that'd be an easy day for it, sounds like. I don't think I could perform knowing the other guys in the waiting room, or the other 15 guys are in the waiting room.
They're not even in the waiting room. They're in the room.
Oh, my parents would beat me.
Like a tag team match. All right, you're in.
All right.
Okay, so
Off the ropes.
I set the over-under for Nick. Ashley, at what point would your parents say, okay, that's too much in 1 year? Where do you think?
Probably if it was just more than one guy in a week, honestly. My parents would be like, what are you doing?
One guy a week?
Yeah, they'd be like, you little hoe.
They're pretty open.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something if your parents knew your number at any given point in your life?
That never needs to happen.
No.
Not that it's not like crazy high or anything like that, but they just don't need to know.
Wouldn't it be something when you were 20 years old, you walk into your folks' place to visit them, and the old man says, so, what's your number up to this month? I mean, these are subjects your parents shouldn't have any knowledge of in the first place.
I mean, do you guys even have that number or that number conversation with a significant other?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
I've never once asked.
I've had people ask
because it doesn't
me,
change
and I've
anything.
asked.
Really? What? Just out of curiosity, why the curiosity?
I guess I don't really know because I've never had it bother me. Because I did go on a couple dates with a guy, and his was like in the 30s, and that was the highest I ever heard before.
Yeah, it was more or less me getting asked, and I was like, "You're really asking me? I'm not like a woman slayer or anything."
No.
Are you?
No, you are not.
Were you honest?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cubby, to answer your question, I couldn't possibly care less about anything in the world when it comes to. I don't care how many she's had, and it's not her business how many I've had. But I am totally comfortable sharing. I don't care at all. That's not something that's ever concerned me.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too. I guess I don't know why I've never really asked. I just never did.
Because it doesn't matter, and you know that.
Would it bring you to a knee, Josh?
My wife's number. I mean, I have a ballpark. Yeah, and I've said before, it did bring me to a knee.
And it keeps getting higher, too. That's the crazy part.
I can't quite figure it out, but she always explains it in a way that makes sense and then tells me I'm wrong. It's called gaslighting. By the way, yeah, people are texting in saying, yes, her name, it's got to be a fake name, obviously. Any night. Sure, any night.
I didn't follow that. All right, do I have time for one more, Josh?
Yeah, we can sneak one in.
You know how some dads operate? They might fart in the car on a family road trip and then try to blame it on one of the kids, right? My dad would try to blame the dog, even when we didn't actually have a dog, which I always thought that was a cute gimmick.
My dad blamed it on the geese or the barking spiders.
Was there ever a mouse on a motor scooter?
No.
That was another one of my dad. I always thought mouse on a motor scooter was a good one, too. I've heard
Why are we just sitting here?
Just give me a minute, Meg.
What am I supposed to be learning about dating from? Oh my God, Dad, you farted! That is so nasty!
No, Meg, this is crucial, all right? The sexiest thing a woman can do for a man is learn to love his gas. Love the gas, Meg. Love it! No, Meg, no. This is why we're here. This is why we're here.
You ever have that moment with your father, Ashley, like Peter Griffin and Meg Griffin had?
Nope, no, thankfully not.
You know, I've heard of a dad that might eat the last piece of pizza or drink the last beer and then blame it on one of the kids. Here's a puke bag from Austria, of all places, Austria. He talked his 14-year-old son and his son's best friend into committing a series of armed robberies. And then in court, when the was hitting the fan, the dad tried to pin all the blame on the two kids, saying the kids had masterminded the crimes and he was only their getaway driver.
Not much he could have done in that situation.
No. Dad is only 34 years old, with the brain of a 9-year-old, obviously. Here's what the three of them were up to. Dad would send the kids into tobacco shops and gas stations, carrying knives and wearing masks. Sometimes Dad would give the kids guns with blanks in them while Dad waited outside behind the wheel of a getaway car. They went ahead with 7 robberies before finally getting caught. But then in court, the sissy-ass dad tried to make it seem like he had just been an accomplice. What a bitch.
Yeah, thanks, Dad.
It was all
Can
the
you
kids.
imagine, like, that's your father?
Right.
I mean, well, any of that, but then he throws you under the bus?
It was all the kids doing, he said. He was convinced to be their getaway driver. Now, just like the rest of us, the judge involved in this effing mess isn't a moron. He didn't buy it. Who the hell would? Dad, bitch, after an hour and a half of his nonsense story in court, trying to make it sound like he was an innocent man dragged into a life of crime by 2 effing 8th graders, Dad, bitch, finally fessed up and admitted he was the one who used the kids for his robberies. The judge didn't care. The judge was still pissed. The judge said, if you had admitted this an hour and a half ago, you would have saved us a lot of time.
I hope he also called him Dad Bitch.
Dad bitch was sentenced to 8 years in prison. His son, who recently turned 15, 3.5 years in prison.
What?
His friend, the other kid, 2.5 years in prison. Hey, I mean, I know that Dad was the mastermind, but they were still waving guns and knives at stores and stealing, so. Time to suck it up, punks. That's effing hilarious.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Seems like both teams are swinging like they've got dinner plans. Speaking of, another one on the first pitch, and this one's going to get down into left center field. That'll score 1 easily. Fortes around third. He's going to score. Xavier Edwards out toward left center field with a 2 RBI double, and it's 4-0.
The Twins. It's real simple. They're just not getting anything done out there on the ball field. And this has been going on for over a month. It's not a complex thing. It's simple. They've just been a bad baseball club for over a month now. And that's why they find themselves in the position that they're in. Last night, the lineup didn't take advantage of opportunities. The hits weren't there when they needed them. It was pretty painful. They lost 4-1 at home to the Miami Marlins. 2 games out now with 5 games to play.
What a collapse.
Yeah, it's depressing.
It's getting ugly. Fan base is not happy on social media.
Many people are saying this is the biggest collapse we've ever seen from a Twins baseball club, and they're probably right. I can't think of anything to compare it to.
There's barely anybody at the games, too. I saw some pictures from last night's game, and it was very bare.
I thought last night's crowd looked pretty normal.
Well, it's not a good sign when I get all these advertisements, almost every 5 minutes, to pack the park for $9.
$9 tickets.
Yeah, I've been getting emails from the Twins.
Oh my gosh, just bombarded with that.
Yeah.
They're desperate.
It's pretty tough right now. We'll get into it with Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. The Minnesota Lynx host a playoff game tonight against Phoenix. They've got a 1-0 series lead in their best of 3. We got to take a break. Josh's news is coming up next.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Did you know that Standard Heating opened its doors over 90 years ago? That's right. Tony Ferreira opened the doors in 1930, now ran by his granddaughter Claire Ferreira. Call Standard Heating and Air Conditioning today and experience the customer service and care that holds true today.
Are you looking to improve your work-life balance with excellent benefits like 401k match and even tuition reimbursement? Standard Heating and Air is looking for an accounting administrator and customer service representatives to join their team. Learn more at standardheating.com/careers today.
The Rolling Stone Music Now podcast gets inside the biggest stories with Rolling Stone senior writer Brian Hyatt.
Guitarist Steve Howe of Yes on the making of Fragile, the birth of prog.
I was trying to think about playing the guitar without any blues cliches. The golden rule on the Yes album is there would be no do-do-do-do-do-do.
And that was what ended up making it quote-unquote progressive, is if you ignore cliches, then you're headed forward.
That's right.
Rolling Stone Music Now, wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
Crazy, just to hear something like that. It's crazy to think of what's going on.
Pretty crazy. I mean, you don't really think about stuff like that happening in your own town,
Passion is crazy, you know what I'm saying? That sounds like a crime of passion.
A Minnesota man apparently handled a breakup like your average toddler handles nap time. Dramatic meltdowns, a car crash, and enough firepower to shut down a highway. The 23-year-old man from Minneapolis is accused of crashing his girlfriend's car after she tried to end their relationship, then firing multiple shots at state troopers, shutting down part of 94 late Saturday night. Troopers were called to a crash on eastbound 94 near Dowling Avenue about 10:15 p.m. On the way, they received reports of shots fired on the scene. One trooper arrived with lights flashing and sirens blaring, spotting someone fitting the suspect's description. That's when the man lifted his arm and let loose multiple shots at the squad car.
Officers need help. Southbound 94 Dowling. Officers need help.
Shots at 94 Dowling.
The man was eventually surrounded and seen tossing the gun before being arrested. During the arrest, he also spit in an officer's face.
Nice.
Can't do that. And this is because his girlfriend dropped him?
Yep, she broke up with him. They spoke to the woman driving the damaged vehicle. She said the suspect was her boyfriend. She told the officers they were driving when she told them their relationship was over. So he grabbed the steering wheel and caused the car to crash. Two Good Samaritans who tried to help after witnessing the crash said they saw someone pointing a gun at them and then heard about 6 gunshots as they ran away. The interstate was shut down for about 12 hours.
Somebody should introduce this kid to likemynudebody.com. Or Rate My Nude Body. Which one was it that I spent all those days on, Josh?
I don't remember. There's so many of those different things. I'm not sure which one.
You guys used to hang out there or not?
No, I never seen that one. I remember Hot or Not back in the day.
Oh, yeah, that was
a big one.
Yeah, people like that one. Yeah, Hot or Not. We put a couple people with their permission up on that, and there was a lot of knots, if I remember.
Bunch of knots.
It's not just some men that can't handle unrequited love. Some women have trouble being rejected as well. Like this woman. Last Wednesday, 48-year-old Melody Sasser from Tennessee was sentenced to 100 months in prison. She tried to hire a hitman to kill the wife of a guy she met on a dating site. She couldn't handle the rejection, so in her twisted mind, murder was a reasonable next step. Sasser's obsession with 47-year-old David Wallace, who she'd met on Match.com, went off the rails after he told her he was engaged to someone else.
God dang, just her luck, huh?
The two bonded over their shared love of hiking, tackling trails in Tennessee, and even parts of the Appalachian Trail. But Wallace made it clear they were just friends. Not one to be friend-zoned. She cranked up the crazy when Wallace moved to Alabama and married his fiancée.
Uh-oh.
She popped up unannounced at his house, threatened his wife, and even stalked the couple through a fitness app, of all things. Not satisfied with casual stalking, she dove into the dark web, finding a site called Online Killers Market to arrange a hit on Wallace's wife. She put up about $10,000 in Bitcoin, like she was ordering a pizza, sent over the couple's personal details, including license plate numbers and workplace info. Her instructions were to make it look like an accident, because she didn't want anything too, quote, messy. Thankfully, her twisted plot fell apart. Cops found plenty of incriminating evidence, including a journal detailing her chats with the hitman site and a Bitcoin address stashed under a sticky note.
Yeah, she could use some help. Can you picture the cold sweats the dude broke out into when she started walking up the driveway after he moved to Alabama?
No, that must have been terrifying.
She showed up at the house, by God.
And he took it out on this woman that has nothing to do with it. A group of junior ROTC students in Texas came to the rescue of a school resource officer who accidentally shot himself hours before a football game. The Friday night fiasco began when a Marble Falls High School resource officer's firearm discharged while he was seated, injuring his leg just before 6 p.m. Friday. At 14, 16, and 17 years old, all Breckenridge High School juniors, ROTC students, they were in the area at the time and jumped in to help.
Felt like terrified, adrenaline rush. We asked if he was okay, and he was like, "Oh no, my gun went off, I'm shot."
Despite their fear, the high schoolers helped put a tourniquet on the officer's leg before calling 911.
But he was doing the tying. I was trying to go help him tying it with him because the tighter is the better. I grabbed it and put my arm around him. He put his arm around me. He was like, "Dial 911." And I dialed it, and he said dispatch. He said some code to them.
The students say the tourniquet worked quickly, and first responders were on the way in under 2 minutes. The officer was taken to a hospital by helicopter, where officials say the officer's injury was non-life-threatening.
Where did he get himself?
Right in the leg.
Oh.
It seems accidental discharges by officers wasn't limited to the Lone Star State over the weekend. The very next day in the nation's capital, 38-year-old Secret Service officer, he had oopsied himself. New hole right there. The negligent discharge, which happened to the best of us, occurred in D.C. just before 8 p.m. Saturday. While on duty, the 38-year-old officer was handling a service weapon when it discharged. The Secret Service said his injuries weren't life-threatening.
That just sucks.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty embarrassing, especially, when you're very well-trained. Las Vegas police arrested a 46-year-old lieutenant for drunk driving and speeding like a bat out of hell last week. Cops spotted a minivan flying down the road Friday, going over 80 in a 35. An officer followed the car into a gated community where it pulled into a driveway.
Code brown?
No. Code wasted. Lieutenant Jacob Fisher of the Nevada State Police got out, ignored commands, walked into his house, only to come back about a minute later to talk. Another officer arrived and immediately smelled alcohol. Fisher, who said he was just driving home from dinner, denied drinking but admitted to speeding. It appears he was lying about that drinking part. He failed the field sobriety test and was arrested for DUI.
In a minivan, too.
That does make it worse somehow.
Yeah.
Those DWIs, Cubby.
A 20-year-old motorcyclist made a mess of his morning after being arrested in Candy, Ojai County early Sunday. He led police on a high-speed chase which topped 130 miles per hour.
Whoa.
A deputy tried to stop the speed demon at 2:26 a.m. for traffic violations, but the rider wasn't feeling cooperative. Instead, he throttled past the deputy in a desperate dash to dodge the law. The cop chased the bike for about 8 miles, but finally tapped out of the pursuit, calling it quits due to the man's reckless and ridiculous riding. Despite his diabolical speeds and delusions of a daring escape, the 20-year-old didn't get far. He was arrested shortly after, cowering behind a business. Now he's in a heap of hot water, facing charges for fleeing an officer, reckless driving, underage drinking and driving, and, of course, speeding. That incident is under investigation. Bump carjackings are back in the spotlight and becoming a bigger problem, with teens targeting unsuspecting drivers.
It's real scary for anybody who's driving if they're actually ramming them and then getting them off the highway. That's putting even more people at risk.
If you're not familiar, a bump carjacking is simple but sneaky. Thieves tap your car just enough to make you pull over. The moment you stop, they take your vehicle, often using a gun. Recently in the Seattle area, teens tricked 3 drivers into giving up their cars in just 2 days.
They stole that vehicle at gunpoint, white SUV, bumped another vehicle. Subsequently, they pulled the right shoulder, same thing, stole the vehicle at gunpoint.
Officials say if you ever get bumped, stay in your car and see who's stepping out. If they're masked, armed, or look sketchy, that's your sign to drive off.
If you see, individuals getting out of the vehicle behind you that match this description with masks on, be prepared to, to take off and get to a public place as quickly as you can. Of course, dial 911.
One suspect, a 17-year-old, got caught when a victim tracked him down using the car's GPS. A troop of monkeys saved a little girl and then beat the evil right out of a bad guy. According to the Times of India, the girl was lured by a man and taken to an abandoned house where he attempted to assault her. In the police complaint, her parents said a troop of monkeys intervened and rushed toward the man, attacked, and the man fled. The girl's father said his daughter was playing outside when the man lured her away. He threatened my child, saying he'd kill me. My daughter would be dead by now if the monkeys hadn't intervened, the father said.
Is that right?
He also mentioned the suspect was caught on camera, but his identity is still unknown.
I got to take back some of what I've said about monkeys.
Yeah, they're trying to redeem themselves.
They are.
I like that.
At least there's a couple. I'm not. Don't get me mistaken here. I'm not suddenly just going to become, Joe Monkey Lover. You know what I mean? I'm still suspicious of most of them, but there's a couple of them here that obviously aren't all bad.
Maybe that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get you on their side, and then that's when they attack again.
Right.
They can be cunning.
Right.
You might be onto something. 2 fans of 12 Monkeys star Brad Pitt were scammed out of nearly $365,000, believing they were speaking with their favorite actor online. They weren't. Instead of meeting the 60-year-old smooth-talking Fight Club star, they were dealing with a group of inglorious bastards, playing their roles like con men in Ocean's 11. 5 scammers were arrested after allegedly contacting the 2 victims through a Brad Pitt fan page, luring them in with promises of romance which would make Mr. and Mrs. Smith blush. The fraudsters, posing as Brad himself, pitched fantasies of love and a future together, echoing the charm of a once-upon-a-time-in-Hollywood star with a dark twist. A raid of 5 homes revealed more Moneyball than Hollywood romance, as almost $95,000 of the stolen loot was discovered, along with a trove of evidence worthy of the movie Seven: bank cards, cell phones, computers, and a journal documenting the lines used to deceive their victims. Police say the scheme might have more members, with at least 10 others under investigation.
Dude, you killed that.
Oh, thanks. That took a lot of time, actually.
I bet.
You saying that.
So there were some folks who thought they were actually talking with Brad Pitt and he was in love with them?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Come on.
At least 2 victims. $365,000. Jeez. Between the 2.
By the way, is there any famous person that you love so much you stopped by and hung out at their fan page on the internet?
No.
Nope.
I posted on a Bruce Springsteen message board.
Of course he did.
That makes sense, Dana.
Did you create that Bruce Springsteen message board?
No, I'm not that big of a dork, Josh.
He's the admin.
The internet, where you can lose hours to cat videos, threaten the lives of athletes who dick punch your fantasy football results, and fall victim to cyber crooks claiming they caught you whacking it. The Hello Pervert scam. It's a nasty email claiming your webcam has been hard at work while you've been working hard at that sinful masturbation you do. The crooks threaten to blast your supposed X-rated home videos to everyone you know unless you pay up. The email kicks off with a tasteful hello pervert and often appears as if it's sent from your own email address. They go on to weave a wild tale of blackmail, insisting they've caught you in compromising positions and then demanding a ransom to keep your dirty little secret safe. If that's not enough, they might toss in a Google Street View picture of your neighborhood or include your home address where apparently you've been greeting Dr. Winky. Understandably, people are losing their minds, but cybersecurity experts are reminding folks not to take the bait about the baiting. Experts also say to cover up your webcam if you're feeling paranoid, update your passwords, and remember, scammers are banking on you panicking and making bad decisions.
Well, like my life partner Cubby said years ago, well, maybe not so long ago. You said, look, if you've got a video of me masturbating and you just so desperately want to share it with the internet, I think, Josh, you said, I'm about to be 50 years old. I don't care anymore. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's how I feel about this now. Right.
If you think that's going to make me feel awful or embarrass me into giving you money, you're wrong. Everybody does it. Go ahead, post that video. I don't care. I feel bad for the young people.
Yeah, if I was a younger man, right, I would be mortified. Or maybe I wouldn't anymore since people are kind of aware of this type of thing. But yeah, if this was 20 years ago, I probably would have given him every red cent I had.
And I don't think, I think maybe I have the proper terminology here. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know how many likes you're going to get when you post a video of a 50-year-old man masturbating.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's not going viral.
I mean, I'd click on it and just be nice, Josh. Just
you would?
Just to show support to you and your masturbating habits.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to see if you can put your money where your mouth is on that one. We'll test that theory a little later today. He hasn't scored a touchdown yet this year, but he did score a role on a new hit show. Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce Swift stars in the new Ryan Murphy series Grotesquerie on FX and Hulu, where a series of satanic murders leave a small community unsettled as a detective can't help but feel they're eerily personal, like someone or something is daunting her. Now on Netflix, the 6-part docu-series Mr. McMahon, documenting the career of the most powerful man in wrestling history, former WWE founder, chairman, and CEO Vince McMahon. The series features interviews with some of the biggest names in wrestling, along with McMahon himself. The series premiere of Everybody Still Hates Chris begins tonight on Comedy Central. The animated sequel series to the former UPN sitcom Everybody Hates Chris chronicles the misadventures of a teenaged Chris Rock as he grows up in 1980s Brooklyn. I liked that show, Everybody Hates Chris. I thought that was very good.
Never saw it,
I think
but I enjoyed hearing how much you loved it over the years, Josh.
I think that's a show you definitely would like, Nick.
Oh, yeah.
It's good. So I look forward to watching this, too. The Chicago shows take over NBC tonight, beginning at 7 with the 10th season premiere of Chicago Med, followed by the kickoff of Chicago Fire's 13th season and the 12th season premiere of Chicago PD.
Woohoo.
And finally on Disney Plus, the streaming premiere of Inside Out 2. Twins manager Rocco Baldelli turns 43 today, and boy, could he use
a
some
drink,
love.
a hug.
Yeah, some birthday cake. Catherine Zeta-Jones is 55. Her husband, Michael Douglas, 80. Man. Star Wars legend Mark Hamill is 73. Big Daddy Love Buckets Jesus is listening from Croatia this morning. We appreciate you streaming the show.
What the hell happened there?
I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on. He's running from someone, maybe.
Got kidnapped.
Happy anniversary to the handsome, more anxiety than hair Jesus and his lovely fiance. Happy anniversary to the parents of Hatch Daddy Jesus, Howard and Tracy. Happy birthday to Brian E. from Dad. Happy 14th to Evan from RX Jesus. And that's 93X News.
Randy Shaver.
We also recovered several gerbils inside his pants.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Sadly, I also lost an investment in a company that I believe was developing a breakthrough concussion drug I thought would help others. And I'm sure you'll understand why it's too late for me, because I've recently been diagnosed with Parkinson. This is also a cause dear to my heart.
All right, here's Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What is that? Brett Favre has Parkinson's disease?
Yeah.
Yes.
Says.
I'm sorry to hear that.
You know, he kind of announced it in a weird way there.
Yeah, he did.
I was actually just talking to a friend about something similar recently where they got some terrible news from someone. They dropped it in just kind of like that. You know, not in front of a Congress or wherever he was talking in front of, but just threw it in. Like it was no big deal.
Huh.
He's just telling a camping story and then throws that in there.
Yeah,
and keeps telling the camping story.
Kind of like the Favre thing. People are looking around like, whoa, what did he just say?
Right.
Parkinson's disease. Well, it could be worse. Isn't that what Michael J. Fox has been suffering from for years?
Yep.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you watch his documentary
No,
yet?
I did not, but you told me it was something to see.
It's great. And you know what? So he had talked about there were some signs when he was a young man making family ties. And he mentioned how he would hide his left hand because he didn't want anybody to know about the shake. He didn't tell anybody, nobody he worked with, anything like that. And so they showed some old clips, and if you watch an old, like a rerun, he's hiding his left hand for that reason. You'd really like it. He is such a nice guy.
I'm sure I would. Parkinson's disease, quite treatable, is it not?
I think it affects different people in different ways. I mean, it comes on stronger in certain people than others.
Okay. Brett is 54 years old. Played 20 years in the NFL, mostly with the Vikings and the Falcons and the Jets. It's not clear that this condition was caused by concussions, but it is possible.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that, and I hope that things go all right for the man. Yeah, he was testifying before Congress yesterday about some kind of welfare fraud scandal. That's not good either. I had heard some notes on that situation, but it was so complex and so boring, I didn't really keep up with it. I don't know. Anyone have any comment on Brett Favre's involvement in a welfare fraud scandal?
I don't think that story, for me, is as important as finding out that he has Parkinson's.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, there you go. The Twins, they're just not good enough.
Well, you know what? I'll say this. Twins fans, they made a statement last night. They didn't show up to the ballpark.
See, I watched the game last night, and it looked like a pretty normal crowd to me. I don't know.
It was less than normal on a night when they needed to win. They're in the playoff chase.
Yeah.
It's the most important game of the season, and Twins fans, for the most part, said, you know what? I've had enough.
Well, I understand that. I understand why people wouldn't show up last night. They have been so bad for so long now. It's just it's been miserable.
I think people are. I think this decision to cut payroll and to not try to better the team, I think that story has circulated around Twins territory so much that whether you believe it or don't believe it or don't want to believe it, I think most people have kind of come to terms that is what's happening, and I think they showed their disappointment last night by not showing up to the ballpark.
I think the reason they didn't show up is because the team has been garbage for a month.
Well, no, because
if this team was surging, if this team was currently surging toward the playoffs, there would have been a crowd there, a big crowd there last night.
But Nick, that's the reason why you show up, to help your team try to get over that hump.
I don't think people operate that way anymore. They haven't been a bad baseball team for over a month. That's why no one showed up last night.
I don't think so.
It has nothing to do with payroll or the trade deadline. It's because they have not been playing good baseball.
I think you're both right.
Yeah, but that means that you're not a true fan if you're going to stay away when the team plays badly.
Well, I'm okay.
When you have a chance to win games to make the postseason, that's the reason why fans show up. They show up to support their team in that way.
I don't know. After over a month of bad baseball, I think they proved last night that they don't.
Their announced crowd last night, which includes tickets sold, which includes season tickets, people not showing up, was a little over 21,000. And I think that their season ticket base, if I am not mistaken, is a little over 10 or so. So that means there probably was actually in-house maybe 11, 12,000 last night.
I think 35, 40 years ago, crowds show up for that reason. Hey, even though the boys have been struggling, we're there for you. I don't think that attitude really exists anymore.
Yeah, but the circumstance is that if they win, they have a chance to make the postseason. It's not like the season's over and they're saying thanks for the year. It's like they have a chance to make the playoffs.
Yes, I agree.
It might be by Wednesday night.
But it
might be by Wednesday night for sure. But the point I'm making is that you would think they come home, they play one of the worst teams in baseball. Mm-hmm. They're a game out of the playoff spot. It's desperation time, regardless of what's happened during the course of the year. This is the biggest game of the year, and they don't.
I get your point. I get your point. But if it had been a week of bad baseball leading up to this series, then you see a crowd. It's been over a month of they're just bad. They're not good enough. They still might make it, but they are just not good enough. And they lose 4-1 at home to the Florida Marlins.
Then the question is, Nick, why aren't they good enough?
Mm-hmm. Well,
that's the question.
Well, Christ
right?
almighty, how much time do we have?
Well, but that's the point we've been making all season long. Certainly since the trade deadline.
You've got a thing about this trade deadline the last week. You can't stop talking about it.
Because they had an opportunity.
Yeah.
It was their last chance to better their ball club. It was their last chance to shore up any weak parts of their game, whether it's the bullpen, starting pitching, whatever it might be.
Right.
That was their chance, and they didn't do anything.
Right.
They did nothing. And that's what Twins fans are so disappointed about, is that this ownership decided to do nothing. And nothing.
Why didn't you make this kind of noise when it happened?
I did.
Well, not for days on end you didn't. I think we all had a conversation about how we were disappointed. I remember that conversation.
You in particular said, well, it's not that big a deal, that they're fine. And
I did.
Yes, you did.
Okay,
And
fine. But I'm just curious, why is this
fine?
And yes, we had this conversation yesterday and the day before and the day before that. And what I've been saying is, yes, that was disappointing and a damn shame. But who cares? Forget about the trade deadline. That was 2 months ago. The guys who are on the ball club now need to go out there and get the job done. And they haven't.
Well, they haven't, but they have not had the resources. I mean, look at what happened in 87 and 91. When they went out and made some significant trades at the trade deadline, veteran players to help them get over the hump to get, I'm not saying that this would have been a World Series year. I'm just saying that's what clubs do.
Yeah.
When they feel like they've got a great chance to make the postseason, they try to make their club better. And they didn't do that.
Okay, fine. So we both have different reasons for why they are where they're at currently.
I felt like it was a little some of Rocco's comments after the game last night. I listened to some of them. He almost is. It was interesting to me. He and his coaching staff are almost falling on the sword a little bit here. He said, we've been swinging at way too many pitches that aren't pitches that our hitters like to hit out of the strike zone, and he said we've got to do a better job of reining these guys in and looking at particular spots of the plate to own the plate, for example. And I sat there and listened to that, and I thought, okay, well, if this has been going on for a month, why haven't we done that already? I mean, why do we watch the same thing night after night after night, and now with 5 games to go, you're saying that we need to rein that in and tighten that up?
For whatever reason, it was their 8th loss in their past 11 games, their 23rd in their past 34. 10 runners were left on base last night. See, that's the thing, driving in runs has been a major task for this club. Guys find a way to get on base, and the next hitter's up, leave them there.
Yeah.
It's just not happening at the plate.
I had a question about all this. Who did the Tigers finish their season with? Anybody aware?
You know what? It's not going to matter who they finish the season with because they're going to
clinch before the weekend.
They're going to clinch. I'm telling you right now, Tarek Skubal yesterday was unbelievable. I mean, that's a true stopper in your rotation to have a guy like Tarek Skubal. He was phenomenal.
And he may not need to pitch on Sunday. They've got him lined up, obviously, for Sunday, but if they can line him up for game 1 of a best-of-3 wild card series, I like their chances.
All they can do is get on it again tonight and see if they can bust loose. And, of course, hope to get some help from the clubs playing the Tigers and the Royals and the Mariners. 6:40 tonight.
Randy, I know you're a degenerate gambler. I just saw this last night. The Tigers are still 45-1 to win the World Series. That's not a bad value. Drive south.
Definitely not a bad value, for sure.
So
they're the best. They're the hottest team in baseball.
Yeah, and that's what happened last year, too, with Texas. They got hot at the end of the year.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where they set here, everybody.
Very, very sad. Very sad to watch.
It's been tough. It's been tough for a long time now.
Yep.
San Diego Padres turned a triple play to end their game against the Dodgers last night, and that play officially put them in the playoff.
Rojas on the ground at third. Machado touches third, fires to second. Out at first. Oh, my goodness. It's a triple play. It ends the ball game. The San Diego Padres have clinched their spot in the postseason after a magical 2024 campaign. Will this finally be the year for the faithful?
Well, that guy was really pumped.
Yeah.
Well, they've been red hot, too. I mean, they haven't given up on winning the division even. They're only 2 games back of the Dodgers.
Right.
How many games?
2.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
That surprises me.
They're 9-1 in their last 10. They've won 5 in a row.
Yeah.
Wow, what the hell's going on down there? They turned the triple play and won the ball game, as you heard that man so emphatically say. All right, well, there you go. That's all the baseball I got for you.
Well, that's enough.
I think that's the feeling of every Twins fan right now.
Let's turn the topic to what are the Vikings going to do if they make the playoffs with...
It's about time someone brought this in.
Exactly. Yes. What will they do at quarterback if they make the playoffs?
Do you extend Darnold?
And go to the Super Bowl? Yeah.
Before we move on to football, via text message, I've been called a name here by a listener. I've never been called this name before. Someone out there is calling me a Polad pocket protector.
It's a popular term on the internet for people that defend. Yeah, triple P. People that defend the Polads.
Nobody likes the Polads, so you know what? I friggin' love them. I love them. You saying nobody likes them? Is that what you're saying, Dana?
A lot of people are very upset right now.
I'm 100% on board with the Polads. No, I mean, I don't even know what that means. I haven't heard that slogan before. But all I'm saying, again, Randy is putting the blame on the, indifference.
I'm not putting the blame on it. I'm just saying it's part of the issue right
Okay,
now.
it's part of the issue. All I'm saying is, okay, right, that sucked that they were indifferent when the trade deadline came around.
It also sucked, Nick, before the season even started, when they make the playoffs the year before and advance to round 2, and then after that they slash the payroll.
Well, right,
and don't allow the club. But wait a second, and decide not to invest in the team on the field.
Of course, that's a problem, but why are you dialing this Wayback Machine up if you're going to bust Brad's balls about doing a future machine?
It's not a Wayback Machine. Now we're seeing, here they are with an opportunity to make the postseason, and the club has fallen apart over the last month and a half.
Right. Poor play, injuries.
Wouldn't it have been nice had they had better players to begin the season, or wouldn't it have been nice had they invested in something at the trade deadline?
Of course, but I'm focusing on the here and now.
I understand what the here
Nothing
and now
you can
is.
do about that now. The guys who are on the roster should pick up their sacks and go out there and win some damn ball games. That's my vibe.
But I think Randy's point is that's why the fans are so disenfranchised and disheartened right now, is because of what happened before the season.
I disagree with that as well. I think had they been playing decent or better than decent baseball the last month, and there was
disagree with that.
Pardon me?
I don't disagree that if they played better baseball. I'm saying though that they had chances to improve their ball club.
Yes, Randy, for God's sake, if there's anybody on planet Earth that understands that right now, it is me. I thought we were talking about why no one's coming to the ball games.
We are.
And my point is, F the trade deadline and F the offseason. If this team was playing better baseball over the last month and there was a bit of a surge heading into the playoffs, people would be in the seats. They wouldn't be sitting at home saying, well, the trade deadline and the offseason. They wouldn't care about that because the team is heading for the playoffs. That's my point.
How many dogs were in attendance last night? Because it was dog night there.
Yeah, you know what's funny you say that? A few people text in and said they got
Yeah.
so bored and it was so lightly attended that they watched the dogs at Bark in the Park. There's about 3 people texted that.
How many dogs? The answer is not enough.
They needed more dogs.
Because,
Well, there might have been a few in the home dugout, though, too.
like we said, when they announced this promotion, it's a damn shame they just don't let the dogs go all over the dog park. You know what I mean? They had one special section, you know? Come on, have some fun.
The manager's not going to be immune to a little heat if this ends poorly either.
What are we talking about?
I said the manager is not going to be immune to some heat if this ends poorly.
Oh, yeah, we talked about, sorry to do this to you again, Brad, but we talked to Dick about that yesterday.
I don't think there's any question about that.
Oh, yeah, Rocco's a goner.
Well,
I don't
Don't say that on his birthday.
On the dude's birthday.
I forgot it was his birthday.
Wait till tomorrow.
I forgot it was his birthday, but I don't think there's any chance that he stays as manager.
The guy likes fish.
I disagree. I don't think he's gone. He's signed through next year, but I do think he'll be on the hot seat early.
Fair enough, then keep him. I like Rocco. I do. So
he'll be on the hot seat early next year if they don't get
This isn't something I'm going to argue with you about because I'd like to see him stay. I like Rocco a lot.
East Winstead Jesus thought they should have had more dogs at the trade deadline as well. That would have been nice, wouldn't it?
All right.
God.
Not the biggest NFL guy. You know that.
Well, you say that,
but I did enjoy the hell out of, as we talked about yesterday, Randy Shaver. What do you mean I say that?
You say that, but I know you watch the NFL.
Well, I watch a little bit of it.
Oh, you watch more than a little bit.
Okay. But as we covered yesterday, I loved that Washington Commodores whoever they played Monday night.
Cincinnati.
Yes, we talked about this yesterday. I loved that Daniels kid at quarterback.
Jaden Daniels, yes, correct.
Here is a meme. I have really enjoyed NFL memes so far this season. It's a picture of that Daniels kid. He's got the football in his hands. He's got his uniform on. It looks like a real game. He's running with the football. Then there's a picture of that quarterback that Janelle wants to pin for Cincinnati. Joe Burrow. Football. And it says here, did you guys know this? The Commanders-Bengals Monday Night Football game was the first NFL game in 84 years with 0 turnovers and 0 punts.
Yeah, people were texting that yesterday. That's pretty interesting.
Were Randy and I the only guys who watched that?
0 punts and 0 turnovers.
That's right.
Wow.
The best football game, most fun I've had watching an NFL game in years. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again.
I know Washington did not have a penalty until halfway through the fourth quarter of that game, too.
And here's the next meme. Sam Darnold leads the NFL in touchdown passes. Justin Fields and the Pittsburgh Steelers are 3-0.
Yes. Russell Wilson will not be playing for Pittsburgh.
Rookie Caleb Woolham has the most passing yards in a game of any quarterback. And the pink crayon, Andy Dalton, is the only quarterback this season to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns in a game. It says, so far, the 20 plus 24 NFL season is drunk.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little unusual.
And Travis Kelce doesn't have a touchdown. That's insane.
Let's keep it that way.
I hope the guy can catch a break one of these days.
Let's keep it that way. I hope the guy doesn't get into the end zone all friggin' year. But his television show debuts tonight. Didn't you say that, Cubby?
Yeah, tonight's the night.
If you watch, what's the name of the show again?
Grotesquerie.
Wait, what?
I forgot. Grotesquerie?
Yeah, you're right.
If you watch that show tonight simply to see Travis Kelce, you're a bad person.
Well, I was reading, he hired like a talent coach and all that kind of stuff for like months. So he put a lot of effort into this. So I'll probably give it a look.
I read he had like 2 lines in it though. Maybe he's in a little more, but I think doesn't he play himself?
I guess I'm not sure.
But Ryan Murphy, he's behind the show. People love Ryan Murphy, so
people love Ryan
folks
Murphy.
Will tune in.
Randy Shaver, does your wife still hate Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes?
Why would my wife hate them?
You mentioned last year that whenever they showed up on television, she would say, Jesus, balls, enough with the Travis Kelce and the Patrick.
I think that was me. I don't think that was my wife.
Oh, I thought you mentioned it was the old lady.
No, she doesn't watch enough football to be.
Are you just mad at me over that Twins argument?
Oh, hell no. I think it's fun to have an argument about stuff.
I had a good time with it, too. I got a text from my buddy BP. One of the greats, one of the all-time greats. BP has texted me this morning. Season ticket holder for the Twins.
Yeah.
And he said, I had tickets for last night's game. Didn't go. You and Randy are both right as to why I didn't go.
Yeah, that's what I said.
They are an embarrassment on and off the field. Those are the words of BP. Wapple, this is going to be our promo.
Got it.
Okay. Got to put BP in a promo.
754.
He's a baseball guy through and through.
I wouldn't want to be a Twins, season ticket seller this year. Making those calls in the off season.
Yeah, I think good luck renewing season tickets if you work.
You think they're friendly now? Wait till they try to sell season tickets once this season is over. You're right,
Nick. I think the biggest issue right now this week is not the everyday lineup and who they're putting out there. It's the starting pitching. You're relying on Zebby Matthews this week.
Oh.
You're relying on, no offense to Simeon Woods-Richardson, but we're relying on Simeon Woods-Richardson this week. We lost Joe Ryan and didn't have a veteran replacement. That, to me, is as much as you like help with your everyday lineup. You're right, they're not scoring runs. And that is on the players that are on the roster right now. I look at the starting pitching matchups this week, and I go, man, Bailey Ober was our best shot, and he got beat last night. Do you really want your season to come down to Zebby Matthews? No offense to the kid, but, that's where we are.
Yeah, you're right. It's a hell of a situation they're in. Thanks for the text, BP. Can I tell you BP's greatest moment? I'm going to tell you a little story. One of my oldest pals, and like I said, baseball guy through and through. He knows the friggin' game up and down, inside and out. Played college baseball. If there's a baseball guy whose word I trust, it's him. But this is not a baseball-related story. We when we were younger and we could still get around, we'd go to a lot of television wrestling shows together. We had a riot. Wapple, I've told you so many stories of the early days of First Avenue Wrestling. BP was always there with me, and we would just laugh our nuts off the entire time, heckling the wrestlers and them heckling us back. I thought I had to go upstairs to see the dildos. That's one of the great lines ever said out loud at a First Avenue Wrestling match. So a number of years ago, he and I went to Target Center. Have you guys been there?
Yep.
I've heard of it. Minneapolis, home of the Minnesota. And we were there to see the Timberwolves play some team that had LeBron James on it. I think it was when he was playing for the Miami Heat. And we had some real big shots seats that night, maybe thanks to Brad Ryder, although I think it might have been before Brad's time. And,
no, I'll take credit for it.
Okay.
As you should.
You guys, Brad knows, some of you know there's that kind of cool dance club underneath the bleachers there at Target Center. Have you guys ever been there?
Yeah, they don't let people like me down there.
Sure.
Well, they do when you know guys like Brad Ryder, because I got let down there. And aren't we kind of alike?
Yeah. I guess that's a good point.
No, we're not that much alike. So we had the hot shot seats, and that got us, what's the word I'm looking for, access to this cool little hangout spot underneath the bleachers. They had wonderful food and beer, and there's dance music playing, right? Mm-hmm. And the really interesting part is the away team walks right through you as they head out to the, what do you call it in the business, the court.
Cool.
And so the Miami Heat are coming on and off the floor, pregame warm-ups, LeBron James going by, right? And there's a massive crowd down there just strictly to get close to LeBron James. They're all wearing their LeBron James gear. They're screaming wildly every time he walks by. And me and BP are just kind of standing there soaking it in. Well, it comes time for the national anthem. And James has not gone onto the court yet. Which seemed kind of odd. And during the national anthem, he's kind of hovering in that VIP area. He's not on the floor. And instead of paying attention to the national anthem, he's kind of doing this kind of little shimmy shake, like warming himself up with this cool dance, right?
Gotta get the muscles loose.
That's what he's doing. He's like doing a double up, right? Getting himself cooking. But meanwhile, the national anthem is playing, so the crowd surrounding him is dead silent, like you're supposed to be, right? And out of nowhere, BP doesn't care. He shouts out, "Respect the song, douchebag!" And that LeBron, could he hear him? He looked right at him. And the crowd just turned to BP like they were going to punch him in the face. That was just so much fun. All right, if this matters at all to you, the Minnesota Vikings are finally getting respect in the latest NFL power rankings, with most NFL writer nerds putting them in the top 5. So that might be interesting to see where they're ranked after this weekend's loss at Green Bay. I thought I'd keep the theme going from yesterday and you guys would enjoy it, but I guess I was wrong. And now I'm wondering what time it is.
You don't think they will win this week?
It was a joke. I started yesterday. I thought you guys would play along with it today. Again, I was wrong.
Who's starting QB?
We don't know yet.
Yeah, they still haven't announced it, have they?
You know, those stories like they got to prepare for 2 different quarterbacks.
That's not fair. That's too confusing.
Yeah, we're tricking them.
No.
Is it going to be Jordan Love or is it going to be Don Majkowski?
It'll be Jordan Love.
Don Majkowski.
They're both basically the same type of quarterback, so they both like to run.
Yeah, but Love is way better at passing quarterback than Willis is.
What you talking about, Willis?
You want another reminder of how the rich and famous will always catch a break while we mere mortals have to suck it?
Sure.
Patrick Mahomes' sorry-ass dad, who goes by Pat Mahomes, he has received his sentence for pleading guilty to DWI. How many did that make for him?
He's had multiple.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4.
Yeah, okay. He blew a blood alcohol content of 0.23. This is back in February, right? So, let's see. He was previously charged with DWI twice in 2000 plus 12, twice in 2018.
Oh, my gosh.
Once in 2019. He's reportedly been arrested at least 11 times in total since 2009. Okay. So, he received his sentence. 5 years probation, intense supervision, 160 community service hours, a substance abuse evaluation, a life skills course, enrollment in the DWI repeat offender program, and Alcohol Anonymous classes.
That'd be nice to have a son that's a world champion.
Yep.
I was going to say, and that's for at least 7 we've counted now?
It's somewheres in that
And 11
neighborhood.
arrests.
11?
Just since 2009.
You and I would be...
We'd be locked up.
Oh,
Dude.
yeah. Yep. Like
For a while.
a regular plebe like the rest of us, you'd be facing about 10 years in jail. And I thought they said like $10,000 in fines.
Is that right? 10 years?
Yeah.
But instead, he's going to sit around at the AA classes with Wapple. He's going to go to a life skills course.
Oh, boy.
Welcome to Life Skills,
With
everybody.
Wapple.
Dude, those AA classes. Woo-wee. Oh.
Oh, I forgot you did do the AA class.
Yeah,
What do you do
been
in
there, done that.
The spin dry.
Yeah, you just kind of sit in a circle and everyone tells their stories.
I didn't hear anywhere in there that his license got taken away. I mean, maybe shouldn't that be the first step?
Oh, maybe that...
I think that's a given.
Yeah, I think they didn't mention the obvious there, Brad Ryder. Remember, he was allowed to travel to Las Vegas 8 days after his arrest so he could watch Patrick play in the Super Bowl, despite his DWI being a felony.
Crazy.
It's just, you don't need to be reminded that, when you're a somebody. He says he hasn't been sober, hasn't had a drink since his latest arrest. Here's what I say to that. See you soon, Pat. You ain't done yet. You'll be back.
Yep.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I had a couple buddies go through spin dry, and I had a couple buddies who had multiple Deweys, and they thought, oh, man, I'm going. One of my buddies, Donnie, he thought for sure he was going. He had a couple, 3 of them. I don't know how he snaked his way out of it, but he did. It was kind of funny, too, at the time because we were ice fishing, and Donnie knew any minute the phone was going to ring and he was going to get his answer from his lawyer, whether he was going to jail or not. And he hadn't been drinking at all since he got in trouble. So there we are. A few of us were drinking beer. Of course, we were ice fishing, and his phone rings, and he says, yeah, hello? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay, bye. And he hangs up and he says, pass Donnie one of those Busch Lights. He's off the hook, boys.
I don't know if this person wants me to read their Jesus name, but they said, I've got a guy on my caseload right now, sentenced to 70 months on his 5th DWI, currently locked up in prison while Pat Mahomes Sr. is out drinking again.
Man. Yeah, what a scam.
People are bringing up Jordan Addison and some of the things he's been accused of. I wonder, what a regular person would be dealing with there.
Oh, being high and stopping on the highway?
It's a good question.
Sleep at the wheel?
I mean, they can afford better lawyers than the rest of us,
It's a fair question. We just become numb to this because it just happens over and over and over again.
Yeah, and how fast was he driving a couple years ago? 120 or something?
Yeah, and he'd feed his dog.
At 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
You know what's been nice? I haven't heard Dick Tracy about that insufferable bastard Jim Harbaugh since he came back to coach in pro football. Haven't heard much at all.
Nobody.
Huh? What does that mean? Nobody.
That's it's one of his
When
lines.
you ask him who's got it better than me,
Yeah, no.
that's his answer.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, he tells the story about
That's a bit. I'm sorry to interrupt. That's a bit he does?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
And he tries to get the press conference and the media jackals to announce it. But back in the day, they didn't have too much money and their car broke down or something, so they had to walk to where they were going. So their dad told his older brother, John Harbaugh, grab a basketball, do 100 with your left, 100 with your right. And then he told John to get the ball and then do the same thing. And he's like, who has it better than us? Nobody.
I'll have to look for that.
Well, now, here we go. Now, here is some Jim Harbaugh information. Is everyone okay? Sounded like a violent thunderstorm was rolling overhead there.
I think Brad was breathing.
No, that wasn't me.
Here's some Jim Harbaugh stuff. Really, I mean, honestly, so he's coached the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego. He's been coaching them for 3 weeks. I haven't heard anything about how's their team doing. Are they any good?
I think they're okay. Aren't they 2-1?
Yeah. Yeah, they're doing okay.
All right, one of his players, Randy Shaver, you're going to love this. One of his players, Joey Bosa. Nothing compared to his brother. Joey Bosa says that after games and practices, Jim Harbaugh gets into the cold tub in the locker room fully clothed with his khakis on and a tucked-in T-shirt.
What a weirdo.
Not a T-shirt, but a golf shirt.
Now he's been hitting the cold tub, and he just gets in full outfit. Shirt still tucked in.
Joe, does he have khakis in the damn cold tub?
I'm like, Coach, do those khakis, they keep a little warmth in there?
Yeah, that's Nick Bosa.
I don't see an issue.
Of course you don't.
That's how I swim. That's how I bathe.
You don't go swimming with a T-shirt on, do you, Josh?
Heck yeah, I do, of course.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. I don't remember the last time I went swimming, but
You've actually been
I have before, yeah.
You've swum before in a pool or in a lake. Where were you?
In a pool.
And you kept
at a like one of those
No, you didn't.
water slides.
Oh man, Josh.
Oh, go ahead, bring it.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry, I'm modest.
How old of a person were you when you went at the water park with a T-shirt on?
Oh, I was a young man.
Really?
30.
Dang, Josh.
I've always been fascinated by those people, and I didn't know I had one sitting right across the room from me.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I don't know what I'd do now, but
that's something. All right.
I mean, I kept my shirt on through most of Jamaica when we were there, remember?
Yes, I do, even though
you
it
gave
was
me some crap about
it was
that.
1,000 degrees out.
It was quite warm.
Oh, my God. And then, of course, you always keep a T-shirt on during sex. I guess I should have figured this out.
Yeah. Seems reasonable.
But you've been a shirt swimmer.
I have, yes, many times.
And what did your friends say to you when you got into the pool with a shirt on?
A lot of insulting things.
Oh,
What did the 7-year-olds at the water park say to you?
Also a lot of insulting things.
Many years ago up at my old man's fishing shack, hot summer day, we were young guys. Everyone jumped into the river. One dude jumped into the river with his jeans on.
Weird. That sounds awful.
Then he got the nickname for the rest of the week. We called him Jean Swimmer.
How'd you think of that nickname?
Yeah. Wow, that was creative.
Good luck getting those off, too.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Where it was going to weigh me down or something.
I did that for him.
Oh, my God.
Nice of you, Nick.
Jumping in with your T-shirt on. I love it. The Kansas State Wildcats football fan. Okay, back to this guy. We covered him yesterday. There's more on this guy. The Kansas State Wildcats football fan who promised to shove a beefy 5-layer burrito up his tender bottom if his team lost to BYU last Saturday, which they did. It says here he's ready to make good on that promise. There's no way he's going to do this, but I'm just going to go ahead anyway. This Twitter user, Bill Snyder or something, I don't know what his name is. So before the game, he says, if Kansas State loses to BYU, I'll put a burrito in my ass. Now he's back on Twitter saying, this Saturday at 9:30 p.m., he'll, what's the word I'm looking for, Josh? Come through on his bet.
Yeah, he's going for it.
Come through on his promise. I mean, he's not going to do that. He'll probably announce he has a podcast or something.
He really wants to watch him and verify this.
I'll give it a shot.
Me.
I mean, it's not going to happen. Number one, there's no way this guy is going to put a burrito in his
It wouldn't
can.
work.
Right. He's going to announce he has a podcast and sponsored by Taco Bell. I don't know, but it just...
Someone suggested a different nickname for your buddy who swam in his jeans.
Yeah.
Jeans Swimmins.
That's great.
Dude.
That's really good.
Great.
God, there's one more story I want to tell about Gene Swimmer. I got to write it down, see if Josh... Ashley, tell us what you got going on this weekend.
Nothing much. I played softball again last night, though, and
All right,
I
I'm
injured
back.
myself.
Hang on a second. I got to write something down. I want to clear it with Josh. Whether or not I can bring this up on the radio anymore. Can you read my handwriting, Josh? Because there's one more story I'd love to tell about Gene Swimmer.
No.
All right.
Darn.
Then tell us more about this softball injury.
You guys know that when I played last week, I stubbed my finger. I pulled something in my thigh, and then this week I was running from second to third, and somebody hit a grounder, and I knew it was coming straight for me, and I just stepped right into it, and it destroyed my ankle.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm very athletic.
Her ankle is destroyed, Randy Shaver.
No more ankle.
Hey,
too bad.
Wapple, was it Wapple or Josh? Josh, you mentioned in your news that tonight you can watch that Vincent Kennedy McMahon
Yeah,
Jr.
it's streaming now. Yep.
I'm excited for that.
There's a Netflix series about the life and times of the obviously very crooked Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Okay. And I know some of you are saying, I've heard the stories a million times. But this did make it slightly more interesting for me. I doubt I'll get around to watching it, but this does make it slightly more interesting. Apparently, according to some stories, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, with the grapefruits he's got hanging down.
Oh, huge grapefruit.
He was so worried about what this Netflix documentary is going to say about him, he tried to buy it away from Netflix so they wouldn't show it.
Oh, that's
man.
hilarious. That means it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and it's done by the producers that do 30 for 30.
Or this is a work.
To try and get more people to watch it?
Yeah. We'll find out. We'll find out.
I don't know. It seems like a lot of the people that they got to do the interviewing and stuff like that, they kind of let a lot go.
Huh?
Like the wrestlers and people behind the scenes that worked around Vince, they let a lot of information go.
They spilled the tea?
Yep.
Vince has been making a lot of noise about how he disputes quite a bit of it.
I had forgotten about this fake Patty Cake boxing match coming up between the internet kid Jake Paul and an old peaceful character once known by the name of Mike Tyson. It's coming up next month. Oh, no, November. Oh, it's not till November. Okay. Then forgive me if you... there's nothing real about this upcoming match. Just like there was nothing real about a video that Jake Paul sent out the other day where he's wearing a fat suit while working out. And I guess he was just trying to fool social media dorks into thinking that he'd gotten wildly overweight in the last few months. Did you see the video?
Yeah, some people really believed it. They thought and were asking if he was pregnant because it did look weird.
Yeah. It's up on 93x.com.
He put on a fat suit and was pressing fake weights in the video, and then later he posted a picture of himself in the fat suit eating chicken on the couch. So that was a joke.
Where is this fight taking place?
I have no idea.
Your backyard.
Local VFW?
No idea.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be a sold-out arena. There's so many suckers out there, Brad Ryder.
I think it was going to be in the Dallas football stadium.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, AT&T Stadium. You're right. Yep.
Oh, that many people are...
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of idiots.
That's a Netflix deal, too.
Wow.
They've got to be closing off part of that thing. There can't be 90,000 people
There's
going
no
to that.
way.
It's going to be like WWE. They have a camera side that no one's on.
Wouldn't it be something to go ahead and win a gold medal at those Olympic Games, and then next thing you know, some asshat steals the damn thing out from under you?
That would hurt.
I think I might have to kill a player.
Yes.
Well, I guess I shouldn't say next thing you know, and you'll understand what I mean by that. Here's a guy now, a former Hungarian fencer. He goes by the name of Laszlo Songradi. He's so distraught over the theft of his Olympic gold medal. Not that I have to remind anybody, but Laszlo won his Olympic gold in the men's team saber competition at the 1988 Summer Olympics in Seoul, South Korea. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Laszlo is so bummed that his medal got snatched just recently. So he's had it in his house for how many years ago was 1988? That's a lot of years ago. He's so bummed that his medal got snatched, he's offered to leave it to the thief in his will if the medal is returned.
Oh, man.
His home was broken into. The medal was stolen September 10th while he was sleeping.
Sad.
For 2 weeks, he says, I can't be happy. Drop it in the mailbox if you want, he says to the thief, whoever it is. I won't leave the medal to anyone in my will. I'll bequeath it to you. I don't want to hurt you. You can negotiate with me, he says to the thief. Come on, dude, that's not going to work. You got to say something that's going to scare the guy.
Yeah. I feel sad for this guy.
You threaten the guy with a blowtorch and a pair of pliers like that dude said in Pulp Fiction, right, Josh?
What a line that was. Oh, boy. That scene. Woo.
This poor guy.
That's awful.
And finally here for you, the Minnesota Lynx play a playoff home game tonight against Phoenix. They lead the series 1-0. It's a best-of-3 type of a setup. And there you go.
At your ever-popular time of 8:30 p.m.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
Yes.
a bummer.
They do that to the Lynx, too, huh?
Yep.
I can't stand that. Hate that late-night stuff. All right, there you go. So, we'll talk more baseball tomorrow.
Rocco!
6:40 tonight, Twins and Marlins. I hear it's going to be a big crowd.
And if it's not, I wonder why they're not going to show up.
I'm not going to say a word.
Dude, I never thought about this. Sharp as a bowling ball, Jesus. This Olympic champion from 1988. I mean, I know he's an older man now, but he's a fencing champion? I mean, he shouldn't be afraid of some slob who stole his gold medal. He should go, right?
Yeah, you should skewer the guy.
Skewer the guy's heart out for him. Yeah. But I suppose maybe your reaction time slows down a little bit. Maybe he's not as deadly as he was in 88.
I wouldn't mess with him.
So there you go.
Be nice if we could win a couple games or at least make the weekend interesting, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Come on.
I hear you, Brad Ryder. If I remember correctly, you said the boys have to go 4-2. Well, they can still go 4-2.
Well,
4-1.
Yeah, they got to go 4-1 now.
Sorry.
But
They can. Well, now they'd have to go 3-1. Yes. Or what? Someone do the arithmetic.
well, they have to go at least 4-1.
They'd have to go 4-1. Yeah. With 5
word
games.
has it the Tigers play the White Sox this weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On that note, we're out of here. Thanks, gentlemen. We'll talk to you.
See ya.
We'll be back in a few minutes on the program ski.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Did you know that Standard Heating opened its doors over 90 years ago? That's right. Tony Ferreira opened the doors in 1930, now ran by his granddaughter Claire Ferreira. Call Standard Heating and Air Conditioning today and experience the customer service and care that holds true today.
Are you looking to improve your work-life balance with excellent benefits like 401k match and even tuition reimbursement? Standard Heating and Air is looking for an accounting administrator and customer service representatives to join their team. Learn more at standardheating.com/careers today.
Every week, Michael Rosenbaum is getting deep with someone new on the Inside of You podcast.
Lou Graham of Foreigner. Want to know what love is. Feels like the first time. What is the hardest song to sing?
I've been waiting for a girl like you.
Yeah. I try to karaoke that song because it seems, waiting for a girl like you.
The verses are nice and
easy. But when you say waiting, that's it. I'm done with karaoke. Yeah, I guess.
Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum, wherever you listen.
Half-Assed Morning Show 93.
I'll be damned. It's a magical day. It is. You're tuned in here. 8:28 is the time. Welcome back to what we call the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. I checked the text messages here recently, other than angry Twins fans looking to point the finger at somebody or something, I found this message that says, Nick, there's a 20th year class reunion this weekend. Isn't that nice? One of our listeners is looking at their 20th class reunion this weekend. They say, I'm considering asking everyone there, you don't remember me, do you?
Yeah.
Or maybe confronting an old bully about a grudge I never let go of. What do you think? Those are both great approaches.
Well, we've been on one end of that. I was the one that mentioned that there was a you don't remember me guy at my reunion, and then you had the confronting the bully at your reunion.
Yeah, I mean, both are very entertaining to watch. For a second, I thought this guy maybe had read my mind because I went to my friggin' wife's 30-year... Yes, I went to my friggin' wife's 30-year reunion 2 summers ago. And there was a dude who approached everyone he could find and said, exactly, you don't remember me, do you? That was his friggin' gimmick all night long. And unfortunately, nobody did. And then he sat there at a table looking disgruntled and sort of frightening for the rest of the evening, really, honestly.
I'd be worried the guy was going to go get a gun.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
We were on a boat for our you don't remember you guy. And that was our 5th high school, 5 years. I'm like, dude,
oh, come on.
We just graduated. Yeah, we remember you.
And you did not go to a big school.
No, we had 140 or 130 kids in my class.
That's madness. 5 years out of high school and he's pulling that gimmick.
We just had our 30th. I still remember him.
You do. Those are both
and
great.
We're trapped on a boat with the guy, Dana.
Uh-oh.
No.
We've been trapped on a boat with miserable people. We have.
Yep.
Seems almost like it was just a few days ago where we were trapped. I'm joking,
Stop
of course,
that.
you dickbag. So those are both great approaches. This listener didn't leave his name, but he's thinking about either the you don't remember me, do you gimmick, or maybe fire up an old grudge with a bully. Brilliant. Yeah, the story about bully confronting from that was my 5th. And I've been to every one that's been put on. We haven't had one at every marquee moment. We didn't get to have our 30th 3 years ago because COVID had hit town.
Yeah, we didn't get to have our 10-year because of that reason.
Right. But I've been to every one that's been put on. At our 5th, there was a kid who wanted to confront my pal about the way my pal operated when we were 5th graders, 4th graders. You were a dick when we were in 5th grade. You were a dick. You said this to me. You said this about my dad when we were in 4th grade. It wasn't even high school stuff. We're talking grade school. And, of course, everybody's hammered, including these two individuals. And my buddy tried to say over and over again, hey, man, I'm sorry. I don't remember that. Yeah, we were young. Whatever, all the cliche lines you might dump on somebody when you're trying to be nice, but also you just want the conversation to end.
Yep.
Sorry about that. I don't remember. Hey, we were young. Until finally my buddy picked this guy up and basically gave him a tombstone pile driver on the floor. So it was kind of like history repeated itself. You were a dick to me. You beat me up when we were in 4th grade. Hey, I'm sorry. 10 minutes later, he's tuning the guy up again like it's 1982.
That's insane.
It was friggin' hilarious is what it was.
I've wondered this before when you mentioned that. Like, what if it wasn't an apology, what did he want?
That's a great question.
He got his apology. What was the point of the whole thing?
Maybe he didn't think the apology was sincere enough.
But over and over and over again, there were 7 or 8 apologies, Ashley, in different ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on. Dana, weren't you saying something recently about a high school reunion of yours that went sideways or something happened? What were you saying?
Well, this year would be a 20-year reunion for me. I graduated in 2004.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start this over again.
That's how math works.
Weren't you saying something about a high school reunion, something that was on your mind?
It had been in the works for months and months. So many surveys were put out. Where did you guys want to have it? What outdoors, a brewery maybe? All of these things, and these people have been working so hard to finally get it planned. and like 5 people have RSVP'd and sent money and then say that they'll go. So the whole thing is going to be scrapped now.
Oh, yeah, that's happened to us as well. It wasn't an official reunion. It was more of like I think it was a get-together to replace the pandemic reunion. And, that sucks, but... I don't know. People are awful busy these days. They don't have time to. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that. All it takes is you click and you say yes. I don't know. What would cause that? You got any ideas, Josh? People just don't care anymore.
Everybody's already connected, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty much it. Everybody already, online. It's my wife will say, "Oh, this happened to somebody she went to high school with." She's always aware of what's going on from social media. Yep. She tells me things. I'm not on social media, so she'll tell me things about people I know. Oh, did you hear so-and-so got engaged? Not at all. I had no clue.
I've never had any interest in going to any type of reunion because the people that I want to see, I'm still friends with. I don't want to see any of the other people. I have no desire to see how they're doing.
It's funny how some people operate. I want to see everybody and anybody. But I have friends just like you who say the exact same thing. There are people that I don't want to.
I'd like
we have different experiences in high school. Mine was, it sounds like maybe you had some problems,
I just don't care about them. I know that probably sounds awful, but it's the truth. I don't really care what they're up to.
I do. I'm interested in every damn buddy.
I'd like to have a grade school, middle school reunion. Those are people, there's a couple I still talk to from those days, but I would absolutely love seeing what a lot of them are up to.
A middle school one, that would be more fun.
Loved middle school.
Middle school was the best time.
And that was even smaller. I'm trying to remember our class there, like 20 kids.
What?
Oh, my God.
That was my elementary school,
Something like that.
First grade.
You're one classroom, I know, same here.
What kind of junior high did you go to?
Well, it was all Catholic school.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was K through 8.
Oh, I saw.
So it's the same kids.
The same people all the way. Mm-hmm. It sucks, Dana, that your thing's not happening because I love them. You do too?
Yeah, I don't mind them. It's fun, definitely. Although I went to the 10. I've only been to one. I went to the 10-year, and again, it was a lot of people doing the hell. You probably don't remember me, and I honestly didn't remember them because I had a graduating class of 500 some kids. Mm-hmm. So
you dealt with the you don't remember me, do you person as well.
There was, so I distinctly remember I was standing in a circle, conversation circle, just holding my drink, not saying anything. And I was there was a buddy of mine that I ran into who I wasn't good friends with, but we always had a good time when we saw each other. It was cool connecting with him. And we're standing there, neither of us are saying anything. It's kind of awkward. And he kind of leans over to me and goes, "Want to go to the main bar and do some shots?" And I go, "Yeah, let's do that." That's what we did. It was in the back room of an old Chicago in Apple Valley. And then we went to the main bar, did a couple shots, and we're like, all right, I feel good enough to go back in there now.
They almost canceled our 30th for the same reason as yours, Dana. Nobody responded.
Yeah.
They needed a certain amount of money to meet the quorum or whatever, and they didn't get it.
Well, that's the thing. Of the graduating class of mine of over 500, they need 50 people in order to say they're going to go to make it, that they can pay for the venue, basically. And they can't even get 50 people of the over 500 kids in the class.
That's what it was. They basically changed it to an Applebee's for that reason. Nobody showed. And a lot of people are texting in saying they've gone to reunions and just a handful of people show. My 5 and 10 year were packed.
We've never had a good showing.
Oh,
never.
Even at the early ones?
Nope. Never had a good showing. I'd say 5 and 10, you could, I don't know, 75 people or something. And we haven't come close to that since. For whatever reason, we just don't have good showings at our reunions. And, they've happened, but they've been work for some people. And those people get burned out, and they don't want to do it anymore. You just, like Dana said, people put in hard work to make this happen, but no one responded, and all that hard work is going to go to waste. So there are a couple of my classmates who handled these reunions, mailing things out, emails, everything, trying to get as many people as possible to show up, right? They quit, and I totally understand why they quit. That's a lot of extra work for someone who's got a wife and kids and a friggin' job and things like that. So since then, what I hear a lot from my classmates is, well, we could have some bigger, better parties, but no one wants to step up and be the boss. Well, you go ahead then if you're going to bitch about it.
Exactly.
I have a theory on some of this, too. As it gets longer and longer why people don't show up. I mean, early on, I can say for me and my buddies, we went because we wanted to hook up.
Yeah.
That's what we were looking for.
Hell
and then,
yeah.
and then you're in a relationship or whatever, and it's not as interesting anymore. My wife, God bless her, she had her, I forgot. I don't know, something reunion, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
No, it wouldn't be 30.
Oh, it's got to be like 40 or something by now.
No, it seems
50?
like it if you just by looking at her, right? But she's actually younger than that. And she didn't make me go with.
Oh, wow.
She knew that I wasn't going to have too much interest. I've only gone with one girlfriend, and it was miserable. Absolutely miserable.
Did you act like you went to school there and get offended that people didn't remember you?
That would have been perfect.
That would have been great.
I could have been the, you don't even remember me.
That would have been a good
Wait, what was miserable about going with your girlfriend?
Going to her reunion.
Yeah.
Oh, it was awful. People were dicks. And
they were dicks to who?
To me.
Because you weren't...
One guy in particular was a dick to me.
Because you weren't a member of their class?
Right. He didn't feel like she should have brought somebody. And he did one of these where he shook my hand extra long, extra hard. He's like, you got a good girl there, man.
Oh, that's because he wanted her.
Well, of course that's what he means when he
Yeah.
says that. See, I heard you're not supposed to bring significant others to reunions. I did it once, and everybody in the room lit me up and said, you did it wrong. Not jokingly like you could have got laid. Like they said it's against the rules to bring significant others.
Oh.
That's funny.
Everyone I've been at, they've all brought significant
Yeah.
others. But maybe because it was a Catholic school, I guess I don't know.
That's a hell of a deal.
My boyfriend's, he got invited to like his 10-year anniversary, and he didn't go because he agrees with me. They're dumb, and it was at
What's
a park
dumb about
pavilion.
it? What are you and Lawrence mad about, your boyfriend? What
well,
are you
because
mad
if
about?
I haven't seen the person in the last 10, 20 years, I probably don't want to see them now.
You had a lot of enemies in high school.
No, I just don't care.
Also, I think that there's
I think there's more to that.
No, definitely not.
I think there's two types of people that really want to go to the reunions for the most part. It's the people who, you don't remember me, you bullied me, I'm going to show you up, and also the people that want to show off how wildly successful they've become, too.
Oh, I mean, I experienced that once.
Do people actually spend like good money to rent a decent car so they could show up and show off?
Oh, hell no.
Like the
That's in the movies. Hell
They
no.
hire a model
Is that like
to
what-
come with them.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because before my 30th, I just like 2 days before, my lease was up and I got a new vehicle, and I didn't drive it because I was afraid people were going to think that I got a brand new vehicle to show up to this 30th reunion. And it just timed out that way.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we going to do, Wapple? Hang out in the parking lot and wait to see what everyone drives
Yeah,
up?
dude.
You know.
Oh, here comes Wapple. He's got to have a... Wow, nice.
A McLaren. Wow. He must be doing
Radio
okay.
money.
You know what, Nick? I think the other reason why I wouldn't enjoy it is because I hate small talk. I suck at it, and I'm awkward. Like, oh, how have you been? Oh, you got a kid? Cool.
Well, you know what? It's funny you say that because a few people text in and said the same thing, that what do you talk about when you already know everything that's going on because of social media?
Oh, well, I don't have that problem. So maybe that's why I really enjoy these things. I just enjoy visiting.
Probably.
I enjoy visiting with anybody. Anybody
I
and everybody.
too.
I dig it. But I get it, Ashley. Not everyone has glorious memories of high school. Some resent, the things from so long ago. Grudges are held forever. I mean, there was one moment where I was totally thrown. This was not an official reunion. It was just some kind of a social media thing. Anyone who can get together at this bar on this given night. There was nothing official about it, but it was just a riot. It was great. And there were so many people there that I hadn't seen in so long. Grade school, first grade, second grade. I really had a great time. But there was one friend of mine who came into the bar but didn't want to mingle with anybody.
Why go to the bar?
Yeah,
Just
so then you're
lingering.
just watching
He was
everyone?
lingering, yes, from afar.
That's even creepier.
And he was a very social guy, always has been. And I walked up and I said, hey, come on over here. And he goes, I don't recognize one person in the bar. And I said, oh, okay, you're lying. Because I went to grade school with this guy. He knew everybody there. He just didn't, I don't know, he had this edge to him. I don't get it.
Financial advisor Jesus said he didn't really like high school, but he loves the reunions. He enjoys those.
I love it.
I became friends in my tenure with a couple people that I didn't know super well. I became very close with one in particular.
There you go. You never know what you're going to see. Never know there might be a hookup, an over the hill kind of tough to watch hookup. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what. There's so much that could happen.
I guess that's kind of interesting. All right.
And then if you're younger, let's say you are 22, 21, like you're cruising towards your 5th year reunion, you might think, well, like we've been discussing, I just saw these people. Well, I know what they're up to anyway because of social media. Friggin' go. Because once you get those folks liquored up and a few years have gone by, you don't know what kind of person they've become, and it can be a riot. I've told you before about the gal from my high school. She was like Carrie from the movie Carrie. She never said a word. Her straight, kind of greasy hair stuck to her face, hugging her books, walking down the hall. Never said a word. At the 5th, how do you say it? A grown person would say, at the 5-year reunion, that was her coming out party. And ooh-wee, was it something to see. Suddenly she had this attitude where, oh, you didn't pay attention to me in high school? I'm going to show you what I got. And it was a friggin' riot. She's dirty dancing, short skirt.
Whoa.
Her hair is beautiful. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
I was happy to be there to see that. That was great. Great for her.
Oh, she was probably planning it for months.
Left-handed specialist Jesus said his dad just had his 60th reunion. Whoa. 20 out of their class of 50 showed up, and he thought that was a good turnout.
Wow,
that's
That's a great turnout.
Yeah, he said considering their age and how many classmates have already passed, that is impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Well, if anybody wants to go to the ESU 2004 reunion, we could use some people.
The what reunion?
The ESU 2004, the 20-year reunion.
Eastview.
We could use some bodies.
How soon is it? How soon?
It's in October.
Okay.
I'll be there.
It's coming to the crunch line.
Well, if you want to bring a date, I'll be your date.
It's in Burnsville, though. I know you don't like Burnsville.
I've never once said that.
I hate Burnsville. Give me an identity, Dana, and I'll play the role. It's only people are going to say, wow, you look really bad for only 20 years having gone by. What the hell have you done to yourself?
That would be fun.
You look terrible.
Half-assed morning show.
God, here we go again. On 93X.
I expect we can hear more of the same tonight starting at 7.
Oh, I'll be way better tonight.
So how's that going? So tonight will be day 3 of the new Wapple at Night program. He's our new night guy.
The Muppet Show at night.
The Muppet Show. How's that going?
Good.
You know
it's a
what?
lot of fun.
You've been just nailing it on these live reads. It's about time we've got these clips to play if you screw up, and I kind of sit here waiting to press them, and I never get to.
I know. I was trying to tee that one up for you.
Yeah, he was testing you, Josh, to see if you still had it at the ready.
Was ready.
Yeah, you know how much it means to me.
You know, last night, Wapple, me and the friggin' wife, we were going through the McDonald's drive-thru, little after 7 p.m., right?
Mm-hmm.
And she turns to me and says, what's the kid's name again? And I said, Donnie. And she said, no, the other kid.
No,
I said, Wapple. And she said, yeah, what time is he on now? And I said, 7 o'clock. And she said, oh. And she flipped the radio in my motor vehicle over to 93X, right? We heard the end of a song, which went into some commercials. I think we got about 2 commercials in, and she said, well, we tried.
That's it.
Put it back on Love 105.
Yeah, I appreciate the effort.
By the way, since it's a contract year, my radio is always on 93X, so I wouldn't have had to switch it. I would have heard you, Wapple, if I was going through McDonald's drive-thru at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Speaking of all this 93X, this and that, people have been stomping my guts out on the text machine about Godsmack concert tickets. We're going to get to that. We'll get to it at the end of the show, won't we, Wapple?
Yes, we will.
You're going to have a chance to win floor tickets to the show, which is tomorrow night. So stay listening.
And meet the band.
Meet the band. You meet this person, that person.
We got your chance.
So, yeah, it's okay that you blew up on me via text. I get it. We've been dragging it out. We'll get to the Godsmack prize here before we get the hell out of here. We were talking about class reunions. I love them, some don't. I get it. Here's, I guess, what could possibly be a valuable tool at a class reunion. Let's say you get to talking to somebody and you want out. I mean, we've covered this conversation, this topic many, many times because we all get a kick out of how Josh has a problem, and his problem is he can't stop talking to people. Once a conversation starts, you can't stop. You feel Maybe if you stop too early, they'll think you're a dick, and then you get nervous, and then that next thing you know, an hour and a half has gone by. Right, Josh?
That's about right.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't like to be the hang-up first guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, we've had this
that
conversation.
doesn't mean I'm not enjoying the conversation. I am. If I was miserable, I'd get out of it, but yeah, I'm usually not the one to bring things to a close.
I love to be the one to bring things to a close, and it's as simple as just walking away. But anyway, let's say you're the type who wants an out. People have been talking on that godless, soulless, evil social media about some new watch alarm that somebody invented, and it'll ring for you and get you out of a damn conversation. Is anyone currently wearing the watch alarm conversation ending machine right now?
No, they're talking about their smartwatches, which you see a lot of people wear. And
it's nothing brand new?
No, but this guy's idea, a lot of people are talking about on social media because he says he works in an office place. He gets stuck in conversations all the time, so he just sets random alarms throughout the day. So if he happens to be in a conversation, when the alarm goes off, he goes, "Oh shoot, I gotta go. I got a thing."
That is so.
So it's a matter of getting lucky, really. That he set the thing, and the person was talking when the thing was set.
Mm-hmm.
I've had, just like out of the movies, I've had friends, usually like a female friend will say, "Hey, call me at this time." They're going on a date. And then they can say, "Well, I got to go." If things aren't going well, like tell their date they got to go. Or they'll tell me, "Hey, everything's good."
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming you guys have probably been a part of that one way or the other. Do you ever have you done that, Ashley? Been on one side of that?
Call me at 8:15 in case this date sucks.
Yeah, definitely. Plenty of times.
And then you say, "What? No, Grandma! Oh, God!" And you run out of the...
Yep.
Grandma's been murdered.
And they know. They know by now.
Back in my 20s, when I used to meet a lot of people on Twitter, women on Twitter, and we'd meet up for the first time in real life, it was always kind of sketchy. So I'd go to a bar that I was known at. I was a regular there. And I had a thing set up with the bartenders where if things were going good, my drink would be on the coaster. If things were going bad, I needed to come over and just talk to us so I could have some type of other interaction, I would set it, kind of slightly off the coaster. So that was my signal to them to kind of come bail me out if things are looking weird.
I'm an idiot. I would forget my own signal.
I'd just be messing with the coaster or something. Like,
oh God, he's flipping it up and down in the air. I better call 911.
Yeah, he's really going for it.
There's only one signal, Wapple. Show it to everybody. Show them the signal. There it is.
Waving your hand straight up above your head there.
If folks don't know what's going on, there's that great scene from Team America World Police where the dude is undercover, right, infiltrating the terrorists, and they talk about, if I have the terrorists where I want them to be, I'll send you the signal, and the puppet does the wild arms above the... My buddies and I have been doing that at the bars for years. Like, send me a subtle signal if these women are into us, and then my pal just wild puppet arms above his head. Wapple and I like to signal each other back and forth like that here at the radio station. Okay, what else is going on? We talked about, listen to this. You guys will be excited about this, and then I suppose we better get going. We talked earlier about the new Vincent Kennedy McMahon Helmsley documentary on Netflix. It's supposed to tell all the dirtiest secrets of the life and times of Vince. Show me your balloon, not Jesus. Texted in, and he said, "I just watched the first episode of the Vince McMahon documentary. It's really good. It's almost as good as the Iron Claw movie."
Oh, I'm going to love it then.
Yes. Yeah, that's become polarizing on this show.
That means two of us are going to enjoy the documentary and one person will not enjoy the documentary.
One person with common sense and any taste at all will realize that it's feces.
It's really good.
You guys have fun watching that documentary tonight. I know you guys will be dialed into it. Maybe I'll get around to it some damn time.
Well, we got to get some tickets out to the Brother and Sisterhood with a chance again to meet Godsmack. But before that, hey, you with the face, Jesus, could use a little love from the Brother and Sisterhood. His youngest, Evan, moved away with his girlfriend. They went to New Mexico yesterday. He's not handling it very well. Hang in there, brah. That's tough. On the contrary, slightly below average Jesus is having a great week. Yesterday was his birthday. Today he's marrying his fiancée, slightly above average, Jesus, and tomorrow is her birthday.
Oh, wow, that's fun. I wonder if they did that so that they would never forget. like the anniversary. It makes
Oh,
it
you
easier
sandwich
that
it in
way.
there?
Yeah.
Or right. You buy gifts one time a year. That's pretty cool.
Smart.
Happy 40th birthday to Jesus on Jesus Loving Jesus. Happy 44th to Richfield Jesus, and to anybody and everybody else. Have a harmonious hump day.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Standard Heating and Air is looking for an accounting administrator and customer service representatives to join their team. Learn more at standardheating.com/careers today.